Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers 103. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Roots, feeling pretty good today, man. How are you?
Good, yeah. I was looking outside, thanking God how beautiful the world is. Clear day here. It's warm outside. I got shorts on, and I got Airlink to work. That was amazing. All I had to do was, what's funny, Wes, is everybody was screaming about this Airlink and how to. It was janky, right? Even myself. And I guess if you have bitrate set inside the Oculus tool tray or the what's that other tool? That the debug tool, it remembers it, bro. Like it was trying to like put it in a super clarity or something. I don't know, but it actually works really well. I was very surprised at how well Airlink worked, and it was pretty cool. Pretty cool experience.
So, there's a little PSA for the community. If you're having trouble with Airlink, go out and go into the tray tool and check out your settings. Most likely, your video bitrate is set way too high and is probably causing you some issues. Who knows, Roots, what other, untold issues that may have caused before with other things that we just didn't think about it.
Yeah, that's true. I never even thought about it. You know, one thing that's weird about it, Wes, though, and I don't know if somebody can let me know, please. It's driving me crazy. I had like started running out of battery power last night, so I thought because I was streaming and I thought something weird with my battery thing not being charged. But anyway, so I thought, okay, I'll just switch over to Oculus Link with the cable. There's no option, bro. Like it doesn't exist anymore. Now it's AirLink. I can't get it to pop up with the link cable. And I'm like, no, like I want both. It's not one or either, either or situation. Because if that's the
Right.
case, then I'll pick the regular link cable and virtual desktop and get the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, what you're saying there is true. I think I read that you have to toggle it. Like it's not always enabled for both. You have to set it in the settings to which one you want to use.
Yeah, I couldn't find that setting because I was trying to switch it back real quick. So I
Hmm.
don't know, man. I mean, it's awesome, and I don't know how well it's going to work for other people because I already have it set up with the dedicated server with the AC, Wi-Fi 6, and everything that they say to do, and so mine runs phenomenal. I'm assuming other people that have like good internet and they've got a decent older router, like yourself or whatever. I think yours is actually newer, just not Wi-Fi 6, still works really well as well. So
Yeah, man. I haven't been in to check it out yet. I am interested in it though. Not that I need it. I've been pretty content with the performance of virtual desktop and my link cable already. When I'm not using my G2,
mm,
which it also is getting better with time. And, I haven't had any trouble out of it over the last week to 10 days. Like it's played everything I've asked it to flawlessly without crashing once. So that's been pretty cool. But, it's always the same story with me in this Oculus Quest 2. Whenever there's new features, whenever there's a new game, even if I played the game on PC before, I want to check it out on Quest because it's entertaining to me. There's an entertainment in me seeing what already is this ridiculous value proposition that you're getting with Oculus Quest for $300. It's entertaining for me to watch that value proposition grow and get even better. So when a PC port comes to Quest, I want to check it out on the Quest 2 to see what it looks like. Not because I think that it's better on Quest 2, which in some cases it actually is. But I just want to see how good it is, just so I can say, wow, can you believe what this thing can do? Whenever there's new features, AirLink 120 hertz, am I particularly excited for either of those? No, not really, but I want to check them out because it adds to the already amazing value proposition of the headset. So I imagine I'll probably be getting in there at some point this week to check it out because from what you and from what other people were saying, it's a tremendous free feature. I mean, it's unbelievable that in such a short period of time that here we are now with standalone headsets that connect wirelessly to the PC, and we don't need a $300 dongle to do it. like Roots, it wasn't that long ago
Mm.
that the wireless piece that you needed to have PC connectivity cost $300 itself.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the TP cast, and you had to like open it up and flash something and just like do all this stuff, right? And it also wasn't perfect. It like after you got it on there, some people said it was hot, and some people said that it was cutting off part of your FOV, and you saw a weird line, and none of that's here. This is free. It's built in. These people coming into VR now have it like so much better than we had when we first came in, right? That was like we dreamed of having wireless VR, and now it's like it's nothing. PD says it runs better on his thing than the link official link, and that's pretty much my experience as well. Well, I mean, there's a little bit of weirdness when just kind of remember virtual desktop's not as bad about it now, but when it first came out, it would when you first switched over to it, it would be a little bit weird for a few seconds and then it would stabilize. And that was my experience. And more of the games, and I don't know, I haven't gone too much into Steam, but I did go over to Beat Saber. And man, Beat Saber, it worked really well, but I had the same thing with Virtual Desktop in the beginning, really bad as well. I don't know what it is about that game, but it takes 30 seconds or 45 seconds of it doing all sorts of weird, janky stuff to stabilize, and then you can play it more than any game I've ever seen, and it's bizarre to me.
Virtual desktop might actually be the way to go with Beat Saber because unlike the Oculus Link or the Air Link, Virtual Desktop is offering 120 hertz support for
Mm.
PC right now, and that's the only way you can do it wirelessly. So or wired. I mean, the only official 120 hertz support is for standalone titles. So I mean, if you don't have Beat Saber on your headset already, I think Virtual Desktop might be the way to go for it.
Yeah, hell yeah. Mash Daddy throwing a 5 spot saying Airlink, yo, hell yeah, dude. The Airlink is amazing. A lot of people say, what good is virtual desktop? Now that Airlink's out, why should I buy it? Why should I support this dev? I'll tell you why you should support this dev. Wes just nailed it. It's not so much the 120 hertz, but it is for this particular instance. But one thing that Guy's proven to me over the last 2 years is that's not where it stops. Like he's providing more of a service in this position he's in now because he's forcing Oculus to do shit that I guarantee they weren't for. They were saying no 120 for PC, right? Well, Guy's doing it. Do you think they're gonna not do it now? So at some point they're gonna keep every time he raises the bar, Oculus has to come back up, right? And so we just get better service over and over again. And it's stable, dude. Like Oculus, Airlink, whatever it is, version 29, it's fucking broke, bro. Whatever, version 30, something. You're going to want to have virtual desktop as your backup, unless you don't mind not having wireless VR for a week or two while they iron out the bugs of a new experimental feature. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, Phil Yard in the chat says he couldn't play Gunheart with Virtual Desktop, but it works with Airlink. And I'm thinking, I tried to do the Doom 3 PC
hmm.
through Virtual Desktop, and I couldn't get it to run either. One of the best things about Virtual Desktop is also one of its biggest weaknesses, and that is, its Steam VR integration. It's awesome that Virtual Desktop has built-in Steam VR integration, but there are cases where you'd like to be able to launch from Oculus Home, and you can't exactly do that from Virtual Desktop. And Doom 3, one of those cases, Doom 3 only launches in the Oculus for me. And I'm sure there's a workaround for that. I just haven't, been motivated enough to find it. But I'm curious to check it out and see if Airlink works. I bet it does.
I will. I'm pretty sure it does. From Other Suns, from what Technoglitch said, it works amazing on Airlink. Didn't work on virtual desktop. And like what you're saying is true. It's Steam VR based. So I ran into a situation yesterday. Just for an example, I wanted to stream Swarm on on Facebook or anywhere really, and I couldn't get my chat. I can't get chat in there with virtual desktop, right? Because it's an Oculus game. So I had to run Revive and then play it through virtual desktop to be able to get the chat, the OVR toolkit into it. And a couple things I want to tell you about this. One, it was amazing. I could not believe, and this is a testament to how good virtual desktop is. I had already cranked it up from, usually I have it at 65. I cranked it up to 120. I turned it all the way to the high setting. And even with Revive, it ran Swarm flawlessly. I was swinging around doing my thing, right? And I don't know what was going on, Wes, but I was playing, I'm streaming, I'm talking to people, and as I'm doing, I thought at first I'm thinking it's my imagination. I looked down at my wrist and my screen's a little bit bigger. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And I'm still playing, I'm swinging around. Now it's a little bit bigger again. Dude, I looked to my next thing I know, I've got a 60-inch fucking screen on my wrist, dude. If you don't think that it gets in your way for Swarm, I was like having to turn my arm sideways. It was the craziest thing. I don't know if people know what's going on with OVR Toolkit or if maybe I'm doing something wrong, but my screen just kept getting bigger and bigger. I swear to God, it would have been like movie size on my wrist if I would have let it get that big. I don't know what I was doing
Uh,
wrong.
you had edit mode turned on, and that's when you have edit mode turned on, and you pull both grip buttons, it resizes that window. So I bet that's what you did. I bet you had
Oh.
it in edit mode and didn't even know it.
I need to learn how to use that tool, Wes, because it was really cool to have it on my wrist. I just don't need a 60-inch TV sized chat on my wrist. It was a bit much. And I was laughing so hard, Wes, because I didn't know what was happening, but it was just every time I looked, it was bigger. And you know who else likes it bigger every time they look?
My
But
mom!
yeah, it was crazy. It was cool. It was fun.
Paradise Decay in chat says, I have to be honest, for new peeps, Quest 2 with Airlink is a no-brainer. Easier to get up and running than virtual desktop. And that's kind of always been the name of the game when it comes to these standalone headsets is simplicity, accessibility, ease of use. It's the John Carmack philosophy, and it's been proven time and time again to be the way to go.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Spry Guy says nice coffee mug. I agree. Traveling Man says he wants to know if his son doesn't have a developer account, could he still be able to use the Airlink? I don't think you need to have a developer account. That's the beauty of this is the first time I had to do a developer account, I thought that was weird. And like I don't think we were supposed to ever be making developer accounts and doing all this weird stuff as consumers. It's kind of cool in some of the aspects, but it's just one extra step that kind of it starts to become tinkering and all the PC stuff. Hey, Ray Delator says he really appreciates the show, throwing a 10 spot as well as Delirium Drew, $1.99 up here. What do he say? He says he's going to be trying Airlink soon, although he's in love with virtual desktop, and I am in love with Guy because Guy is amazing. Guy, if you're listening or anybody has Guy's ear, tell him I want Twitch, Facebook, YouTube chat integration, and that would put a big kick into Oculus's thing, man. If I could just go in and automatically link my chat to it and have it in every single game and not have to worry about trying to find a way to bring it in, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of you'd think it's kind of a no-brainer at this point, right? That they'd have a way to pin windows in that. It's like the one thing that everyone needs who's a streamer.
Well, Facebook, if I want to stream to Facebook as at least standalone, it's set up. That's why I streamed yesterday to Facebook because I accidentally stumbled onto the button and I was like, oh shit, it's that easy. Well, let's see what I can do. And so it should be that easy for everything. And that would just be one more thing. If I'm saying, okay, I'm going to use Airlink or do I use virtual desktop? Oh shit, virtual desktop. I can stream straight to Twitch. I can just link it to my Twitch account and now it's set. Same way you do with OBS. You just literally connect it through everything, and then you're good. So
Yeah, that kind of functionality would be worth paying for, right?
yeah,
When you pay like a $10 paid DLC for virtual desktop to have that kind of integration, streamer tools.
yeah, hell yeah, dude. $10 or $20 streamer tools or whatever. Yeah, the streamer tool package, that would be awesome.
Well, there you go, Mr. Godin. Make it so.
Yeah, yeah, make it so. And I was thinking about that. Somebody I know, somebody in our that watches this show, probably another content creator, actually has his ear. So please suggest it, and I will eternally love you forever.
There you go. So yeah, there was another comment. By the way, Drew, I think Drew was kind of giving us a counterpoint to Eric. Eric says Airlink, yo, and Drew says virtual desktop, but he's going to be trying Airlink soon.
Mm.
So thanks for the tip, Eric. Thanks, Drew, and thanks, Ray, for showing up, and thanks for the support. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we were just talking about upgrades for mics and all sorts of stuff. We want to up. We want to up this bitch. Do it.
But for the record, whoever it was that said that Airlink is it's an officially supported feature now. You don't have to have a developer account for it. Your son can use it at will. Anyone who has an Oculus Quest can or Oculus Quest 2, right? Quest 1 doesn't support it, does it?
No, no, I don't believe so. I think Quest One is already within 2 weeks' time. It's gone from like, oh, this is just as good, to not. I would be scrambling right now if I owned a Quest One and I had the means. I'd be scrambling to sell it and replace it. And I said that so long ago, dude. I said it when you were doing it that it was a good idea. And if you haven't done it now, I don't know. Your window is closing. You're going to start having to take less money for this said Quest One if you're going to sell it. So.
That's true. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Ray Delator made a comment earlier too that since our games are getting longer now, the PCVR games, that the battery life is starting to become
An issue.
insufficient. And
It was already insufficient.
I have yeah, exactly. I had an interesting thought on this the other day. Because people are spending big bucks to get these battery straps. What are they, like 80, $100 to get one of those? And the headset itself is only $300. And that was kind of my thought. Like the other day, my battery was getting low, and as you know, I just picked up a second headset, so I just had to grab a freshie. Just go grab the freshie, plug the other one in, and it's no problem. And then I thought about all these people that
Swapper.
dropped a bill down to get that head strap when they could have just taken that money and put it toward another headset and have not only a fresh battery ready to go at all times, but all of the other awesome features that comes with having another headset.
It was actually a really good deal if you think about it. The Elite battery strap, because it was actually 129, but you got the carrying case, which by itself is $50. You got the Elite strap by itself, it's $50. So you really paid $29 for the battery. But even so, it's still, I mean, man, the battery power, you're not lying, bro. Like, even just as it is, I guess everything I run is 90 hertz now. So it's not as it is. It wasn't intended to do that. It's definitely not 2 hours, man. Like, you have to have a battery pack. If you don't have a battery pack, dude, I don't know what you're doing, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you need to have a battery pack. And like, even last night, my thing died on me because my battery wasn't charged right. I guess I read it wrong. I didn't know anything about the lights. Now I researched it. Now I know how to look at my thing and make sure it's full. But it's like 10 hours, bro, and I can plug it directly in, and it'll just charge as I'm playing, and it actually goes up. It's better than the charge from the computer. But if you don't have that, it's what you're talking, maybe an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes of actual game time of 90 hertz swarm goodness. And I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird, man, because the controllers last for so long, right? Like those things never run out. But the headset, you have to constantly keep that thing on charge.
Would you have paid an extra $50 for like they've got technology for really good batteries, right? Like they could have put a good battery in there that lasted like 5 hours. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
it'd been a
well,
little bit more
it's a
weight.
right, exactly. It's a comfort thing more than just a cost thing.
Mm.
Like they could have put a bigger battery in it, but the more battery you have, the more weight you have, the more heat that you have.
True.
It's a balancing act. Now I don't know why they didn't just, you know, if I were them, which again I get it, they're trying to hit that price point, right? But the best thing that they could have done is just the elite strap is the default strap. That's what it comes with because I mean, that extra battery life would be needed, and the comfort is needed as well. But I get it. I mean, anybody can get the battery strap. It's an optional thing. If they had attached it to the Quest by default, then it would have cost 350,
Mm.
400 instead of 300, and people can always just go buy it. So I get why they did it the way that they did.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Radio Run says his it's better with encoding rate at 0, but still jumpy for him. But he said he's 3 feet from his router using Wi-Fi 5. And now this is the thing, bro. Like this is the problem with AirLink or virtual desktop or any wireless solution like this. There's so many different things going on there, like conflictions that could be happening. The Wi-Fi 6, it does have more band or more, I guess, room for data, right? It's like up to 1200. Like there actually is more data being transferred in a quicker speed. So you are going to have better results with the Wi-Fi 6. That doesn't mean you can't have it working with the Wi-Fi 5. It just means you're going to have everything, I think, set up perfect. And one of the things that I found out was really good was changing my router to a dedicated server. Like that's the only thing my headset's the only thing that uses that. And it's funny, Wes, because I'll go into these Air Pano videos. I actually looked up the actual name for those amazing videos I talked about a couple weeks ago. It's called Air Pano on the 360 VR app. And they have an option to download, I believe, and you can download so you can not buffer, right? And a lot of people probably think, man, this is amazing, like because there's so much data and now I'm not buffering. Well, I'll tell you what, Wes, I don't ever buffer because of I have such an amazing connection to that. That was one of the best things that I've invested in for my Wi-Fi experience. It may not uh be the Wi-Fi 6 per se for everybody, and they have an adequate experience, but I believe I have a probably more superior experience because of that extra data. It just runs so amazing that I just have to rave about it.
Yeah, I would just say that it really just depends on which router that you have. My router is not Wi-Fi 6, but it's a pretty nice router. And like you, I have it wired to my PC and nothing else. It's not used for anything else other than uh, to wirelessly tether my headset. And it works perfectly. I have zero issues with it. So, again, results are going to vary person to person, but I don't think, at least at this time, that Wi-Fi 6 is a requirement. Now, going forward, that they may get a little more ambitious with how they use the connection with the games, and it may become something that's needed at a later point. But I can vouch, at least on virtual desktop, a Wi-Fi 6 router is not necessary.
Yeah, well, there's enough people out there that are able to get what they have to work, or they've got, like you said, good stuff. Man, there was somebody standing creepily behind you that whole time, Wes. Um, Diz the Game Cat says he has Wi-Fi 6 in his play space, an i7 9700. I'm jealous, and 2070 Super, and he still has issues with VD and AirLink stuttering. And I don't know. I say that's the thing. I don't have any stutter, man. Like even in Beat Saber, it runs really well once it gets stabilized. But like I'm playing games like Swarm and stuff where it's so fast paced, dude. You're gonna notice if things are off. And it was 90 hertz, flawless, smooth with Revive, and that was through Virtual Desktop. And the AirLink ran just as well. So I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, definitely change your. Maybe that's what I don't know if you checked your encoding bit rate. Now I don't have mine set to 0. I got mine set to 150, and it still runs amazing. So
Yeah, I'm going to have to get in there and check it out, man. Now, because it seems like there's some debate among the community. I want to see how it works.
You're like, damn, dude, what the hell, bro? I want to be in there right now. Let's cut the show. Let's go. And we'll come back.
No, man. No, I would never cut the show. We got a pretty good show lined up today. You know, it was an interesting situation to be in when I was writing the show today, because you know the bulk of the news this week was Oculus Gaming Showcase, and it just so happened that this past Wednesday we had Anthony on from VR 365, and we pretty thoroughly dissected that thing, and we went title to title, gave our thoughts on all of it, and pretty much, you know, did our whole show on Wednesday already. It was a bit of a challenge as I was approaching the news this week find to find stuff to talk about. As it turns out, always stuff to talk about in the land of VR. We got some decent games to talk about today in the news. But I thought before we got into that, you know, we would just kind of really quickly, you know, uh, talk about what we thought were the highlights of the Oculus Gaming Showcase. They talked to something like 12 or 15 different titles, and all of them titles that I want to play in some way, shape, or form. But there were some very clear winners here. Um, Roots, for you, uh, which titles was it that really stuck out for you?
Well, I mean, for the most part, the first one that we got here, this after the fall is the most. Uh, I thought the game footage looked amazing before we saw what we saw, and I've been saying this since day one with zombies, whether it be Arizona Sunshine, which ironically is the people that made this. The zombies were too slow. They're not, it's not scary to have one lumbering at you, man, dude. These things running at you. I want to get in there. I want to play this game now, and we're not that far away, Wes.
Yeah, no, no, not very far away at all. You know, the one thing that really surprised me about this new footage was just how good looking the uh, character models and the environments are in this thing. It's pretty obvious that Vertigo Games has leveled up in their experience level dealing with VR game development. And I mean, is it like 100% photo real? No, that really wouldn't work in this scenario anyway. But it is beautiful and highly detailed. So I was very impressed with that, and it's going to be interesting, Roots, because this isn't a PC exclusive. It's going to launch for all platforms simultaneously. So Quest will be getting this one. Um, PSVR is going to be getting this one. It's going to be interesting to check out the version changes. It's going to be interesting to see if the PC version really turns out to look that good.
Yeah, I just want the gameplay. I have no doubt it's going to be amazing. What's funny is like, and we've seen this with a lot of developers lately, but Vertigo Games is no different. Um, you know, the weaknesses of Arizona Sunshine. People picked apart the models of the zombies. So they were all the same. They were kind of not scary or whatever, and they just come back with this, and like you said, everything that they did in the first one that was amazing, and they've built onto it, and made this look creepy as hell. And the aspects of, I just, how many games do we have that we've played in the past where you see like seven things coming at you? That's creepy, but I want the horde, I want the horde of zombies coming at me, and that's gonna freak some people out. A lot of people. And it looks amazing. I can't wait.
Yeah, it does, man. And just I like the idea here, the theme, right? This icy apocalyptic setting. It's like it looks like it's taking place in like California, like Los Angeles or something. But it's iced over, which is just a cool. It's a cool aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully this doesn't happen for real. Everybody, yeah, how many movies do we have where zombies have started because of forced inoculations? Like at least five or six.
Yeah, these are the ones that got the Johnson and Johnson
Oh
shot.
God, don't get the Johnson and Johnson. You'll end up like these zombies. Oh.
Yeah, I forget what I was watching the other day, but they said that the problems they're having with the Johnson and Johnson shot, have caused so much internal strife at that company that Johnson isn't talking to Johnson.
Oh, is that for real? Oh God, man! I'll tell you
Uh,
what, I don't doubt it.
PD says if you want a similar experience to After the Fall, check out GTFO. Now, we talked about GTFO last week, and it does look cool. I'll give it that. But I want this. I want a story-driven co-op campaign.
Yeah, yeah,
This is what. This is what. This is like if I had a VR wish list right now, what do we need more of in VR? Story driven co op campaign is number one among those. And the fact that it's a shooter and that it's a zombie shooter, that's just icing on the cake for me.
yeah. I agree. Yeah, uh, I think GTFO looks amazing as well in its own right, but it's not going to be this. Absolutely not. It's a cool mod. This is built from the ground up, and this is I just like I said, they were so close to this. Summertime, right? Yep, summer 2021.
Yep.
Oh,
Ray Delator says, I hope they use B haptics for this game. I'm going to have to just break down and get the B haptics because I don't know if you know this, Roots, and I hate to ruin your day, but we missed it.
hmm. What did we miss?
We missed it. Just a few days ago, I heard someone mention that the Y'all VR2 was going to hit Kickstarter soon. I didn't know how soon, Roots, but I found out yesterday that it was much sooner than I thought because it has begun. The Y'all 2 is in Kickstarter now, and all of the early bird specials are gone. All of the second tier early bird specials are gone. All of the third tier early bird specials are gone, Roots. And
Uh,
this thing was almost affordable if I could have gotten in early. And it's so much more amazing looking than the original. Have you seen it?
yeah, yeah. We were just talking about that last night when we were playing some Tarkov, and it's like obviously just like anything else. They made their money on the first iteration. It was just bare bones. They made it work. And then they took that money and turned it around into actual design, and they're making the next iteration that much better. And it does. It looks smoking hot. Looks amazing. Doesn't look like something that I'm probably gonna have for a while. Maybe the third round around. Either that or I have some relative that dies and leaves me a bunch of money. Those are my two options. That's still big chunk of cash, bro.
Oh yeah, it's still a big chunk of cash, but 700 and change is not too shabby for a piece of equipment like that.
No, because they're talking about 1,700. But no,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's over double. So yeah, if you could get in on the early bird for sure, 700 is not too bad. But this is the thought too. There's a lot of things you can get for $700. I mean, if I was inclined, and you don't have this issue, but and of course, getting it would be the case or the problem. But I would probably get a 3080 before I would spend 700 on a yaw. Just because that's just such a good upgrade. But that's probably not
Oh
happening
yeah,
anytime
for
soon yet.
sure, for sure. But well, I've been looking at peripherals specifically, and unable to decide, which one to get because as amazing as that Haptics Fest looks and appears to be, I don't know if it's worth that tag. And everybody who has one says get it, but $500 is not a little bit of money. That's a lot of money for haptics, dude. And at least with like the wheel and pedals and stuff like that, it's more functional than just haptics. You know what I mean? It's something that unlocks new gameplay for you.
Oh yeah, no, it'd be amazing. What I think this would be amazing for the company is just send a couple vests to Roots and Wes. We'll talk about it. We'll let you know, let everybody know how amazing your vests are. I'm just gonna
Oh
throw it out
yeah,
there. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, we're good at selling these sorts of things. I guarantee if they sent me one of those, that I would sell at least one of them. I
oh
know
yeah,
I would.
yeah, we make your money back, bro.
Yeah. Um. Anyway, that's just something that I thought I'd bring up there because I watched the video on the Y'all 3 for the first time yesterday, and it dropped my jaw just how more refined that thing is than the first one. Now, with that said, now that these are coming, I bet that you'd be able to pick the first one up on eBay or something for a pretty fair price.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. I mean, it's a little ghetto now after looking at the new one. Actually, it's funny
Well,
because it doesn't
not
matter what it looks like, man. It's just like my gun stock. You know what I mean? You get your gun stock. People are worried about different things like the sight on it and stuff. And I'm like, it's cool little thing on top of it, but like I've got my headset on, bro. I don't see the sight. You know what I mean? What does it matter
right,
what it looks like, dude? It's
right,
weird.
right. Yeah, when it comes to y'all one versus y'all two, for me, it's more about the footprint than the actual look. It's a bigger thing, right? You need more space. Where the y'all two is it's a chair.
Yeah.
It's like it's smaller than your average recliner. You could use it just to sit in.
That
Uh,
that doesn't come
you
with the
know,
chair though. This is what somebody was saying. I think Diz. That's what we were the price when we were talking about last night. The 1,700 is like everything. You the chair, all of that shit. So like you don't get the chair with it.
you don't get the chair. You got to
Nah,
have a
it's
chair, bro.
you can slap in your own stool or something.
I
You
guess.
got to have a chair, right? But that's the thing. Is like it's just extras. Extras keeps having more and more stuff on there. But if you want to have everything, and don't get me wrong, dude, if I had $1,700, I mean, what better way to drive your car or have your HOTUS? It's connected right there. It's got the stand. Your feet are planted where they should be. That's one of the biggest things that I've said about driving a steering wheel. You could get a steering wheel and try to attach it to your desk. It's not the same as having an actual frame. I believe you need to have a frame, and this is coming from a an expert like myself that knows nothing about racing stuff. But I just think it would be a lot better to have something stable to have it attached to. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And you can get a decent stand for not a lot of money anyway. So,
that's true.
yeah, I think it's solid logic. But anyway, back to the Oculus showcase. I think that certainly after the fall would qualify as one of the biggest highlights of the entire event. And for me, I was pretty excited about the aftershocks for the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. You know, one of the better, if not the best, story driven game I've ever played is giving us what appears to be more story content and routes, and it's 100% free. I mean, that's amazing in its own right. I mean, we don't know exactly how much content this is going to be, but they've pretty much said that it's going to be hours of story based gameplay here.
That's awesome. Well, the game was already long enough, right? And it was already a no brainer. It's already known as the best Walking Dead game or zombie game out there. Now, after the fall may come out and just change our mind about how because just looks so good. But right now, this game is the best game out there in my opinion for zombies, and now they're giving us more for free. And that was one of the things that I was bummed out when I finished the game. Like I wanted more, right? And now I get to have more for free, and all I got to do is wait, 3.5 weeks.
Yeah, and the thing about this game is it's so different, right? Like Arizona Sunshine, After the Fall, even The Walking Dead Onslaught, those are all different, a different type of game. This is probably, you know, zombies or no zombies, this is probably the most realistic post apocalypse game in VR, right? Um, now, obviously, there's plenty of room for improvement on that front. In the sequel, of course, I would love that for the map to be larger and more explorable. We really what we really want is a game. We want this game, but in the Fallout 4 format, right? We want it to be open world, completely explorable, but with this type of story, with this type of interactivity with the characters, and you know the branching narrative. I mean, it's a one of a kind game in VR, and Yeah, I just think it's so awesome that that they would drop a DLC like this and not charge for it. It's kind of like the cloud head model, right? Give us everything and more, and never charge another dime for it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Ray Delator says it's free because EA doesn't own it, and that's a very good point. You have like three different installments of payments. That's one of the things that people forget. Fallout is amazing. Skyrim is amazing. Those open world. It's the world that makes it so amazing, right? Like you want to be in that open world experience in that world. And this, I have no, it's the same thing that I would feel about an open world Harry Potter game. Open world, there's certain worlds you want to be in, and this Walking Dead is one of those. I would love to have an open world experience, and hopefully maybe that second one will be, or sequel will be that.
Yeah, and you know what's great about this is you have a fairly sizable map when you take the whole of the game into account. And of course, you could go through it in a linear fashion and make your way to the end of the game, but you don't have to. You can always revisit uh, parts of the city that you have already been through and scavenge. And the cool thing about it is if you decide to do that, that at any given moment you can run into survivors, right? You could there's going to be people that have moved into that area since you were there last, and they could be people who are in need of help. They could be people who are willing to help you, or they could be people who are just trying to stab you in the back. That's the beautiful thing about this game, and I'm hoping that they really lean into that aspect a little more, even when it comes to the aftershocks.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. That is one of the things, and that's one of the things with the zombie apocalypse that the people are turn out, at least in the Walking Dead uh, world, turned out to be more dangerous than the walkers. Because you just never know what they're gonna do, right? So
Yeah, and another one. You said we don't have to wait long for after the fall. We really don't have to wait very long for this. Just a couple of weeks, and those of you who follow me on Discord uh, and follow us really closely know that I've been trying to get my game streaming set up over the last week, and I've had a couple of failed attempts, but we're getting closer to having that all ironed out and running buttery smooth. And when that happens, I'm going to start streaming fairly regularly, and I have some content to catch up on. I have to revisit Doom 3, not only on PC, but I think I have to revisit it on Quest now as well. So there's going to be that stuff coming up. I'm going to do first and foremost, we're doing Wraith Afterlife. That'll be my first video as soon as I get this thing straightened up. We're going to do a Wraith Afterlife gameplay, hopefully tomorrow or the next day, and then on Wednesday, Roots and I are going to deep dive on that game and let you know what we really think about it. Having played it now for over a week, or at least by that point we will have, and then so I've got Doom content to catch up on. I've got Wraith Afterlife, and then we've got Jupiter God giveaway video coming up. So lots of content coming. Uh, I've really kind of just fallen behind a little bit because of my technical difficulty switching from my pre-recorded setup to a streaming setup. But I'm almost there. I've got it. So if you haven't already, you want to make sure you're hitting that red button and that bell, because when the dam breaks, the content's just going to start flowing through.
yeah, Spry Guy makes a good point. He says, well, he didn't say this first part. Don't worry, Wes. That's what I'm saying. Uh, he said Roots' streams always run better, buttery smooth. He never has issues. And it seems like I'm always troubleshooting some technical issue, bro. And I don't know. People that watch my stream, they say they like to troubleshoot. I don't know. It's
Well, that's
bizarre.
great.
Yeah.
Anyway, good stuff coming this week. Roots, I was even thinking, our patrons have been so awesome. We even got another new one this past week. Shout out Acid X for
Ooh,
joining the
hell
ranks,
yeah, Acid X. I
or
love that
Acid
guy.
three times as we call him on this show. Um, but Roots, I was thinking, well, it would be cool at some point to do the Money Show live.
That would be a good idea. But how do we keep all the undesirables from watching?
You don't make it public. You
Oh, that's right.
make it an
Private and share the
unlisted.
link.
You make it an unlisted stream that you have to have the link to get in the door.
Oh, yeah. Well, that sounds like a good idea. I like it.
What do you think, patrons? Money Show Live, you up for it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do it. So again, really close to upping our game here in that way, and in many other ways that we've been working on behind the scenes. So again, red button and bell, you don't want to miss. Um, anyway, if all we got from the Oculus showcase was after the fall and in the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, that would have been enough to keep me pretty excited. But we got a way more, including an update on a title that we've been waiting on a long time, right, Roots?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. A super long time, bro. Like I think it's one of the longest titles I guess that people have been waiting on for a while, right?
Well, when they put the playable demo or playable trailer out for Lone Echo 2 last year and said it was coming soon, we kind of took them at their word, right? But little did we know that the Oculus Quest revolution was at hand, not to mention all of the other madness that has taken place in the world. And here we are facing down summer 2021 and still waiting on this game. But from the looks of this footage, it's coming along nicely.
Yeah, you know what's funny about the footage, and I was thinking about this recently when I was watching it again. Um, I don't see anything. I mean, and I guess this is a good thing if you're like a really big fan of the first one. I don't really see anything different from the first one. Now, granted, we don't see much footage, but if I watch this footage and didn't know better, I could be watching Lone Echo One. And that I don't know if that's a problem or if that's a good thing.
Well, I think it's a good thing, man, because to this day, I can't think of a single game that is more photorealistic in VR than Lone Echo. I mean, it's kind of hard to improve upon near perfect already. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. And we did find out the biggest news of this game, of all time, especially for Shark. It is a PC VR exclusive. It will not be questified. The graphics will be top notch in this game. It may be one of the last Oculus games that actually is focused on PC VR graphics, right?
Yeah, I think it's probably at least for the next couple of years, this is going to be the last big PC exclusive from Oculus. I don't think we're going to see any more from them until the market drags them back into PC,
Yeah.
which I do, for the record, believe will happen one day, uh, because I do expect PC VR to continue to grow, and I expect the generation of Quest users that are just now coming into the market. I expect them to be like crackheads, just like the rest of us, and need more. So I expect PC to continue to grow, continue to get better, and I expect it to be a viable marketplace in the future.
You need,
But yeah, man, the Oculus Showcase, a lot of the highlights for me, I mean, while they might not have been PC exclusives, they were certainly PC VR games.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a different time. I think you're right though about PC VR. I think eventually it'll come back. You know,
Yeah.
think about where we'd be at, Wes, right now in this whole thing with all these Quest users coming in. If the computer parts were readily available, like if people, because I was watching Jay's 2 cents yesterday, and he was doing a video, and he was talking about just how many people are building computers right now. Like there's just so many people that are into streaming and just all these gaming, all these different reasons, building them like never before. But it's in a time when the parts are harder to get than almost any other time as well. So we're kind of in a conundrum. I think PCVR really could explode like no other, but I think the parts are kind of holding it back right now, which is we're kind of in a weird place, right? Like everything's there to shoot off, but we have no fuel, and we're kind of
Right.
stuck right now. It's weird.
Yeah, yeah. I just built a PC this past year for my son because he wanted one for Christmas, and now my daughter's thinking about maybe she
Ooh.
might want one for this Christmas, and I'm just like, might not be so easy now.
No, well, you just have to really look for. I mean, I see some deals on KWEST. I think is the website for like 2070 supers, and I don't know where they're getting the stock, but people say it's good.
Uh,
So
Wolveraza says it's good to throw PCVR community a bone for now, but I think they'll drop a few more as they go to keep PCVR users from getting too pissed. Yeah, let me be clear what we're saying here. I'm saying this is the last big PC exclusive that we're going to see from Oculus. It's not that we're not going to see big name titles, PCVR games from Oculus. We absolutely will. But these are going to be titles that are also on Quest. I don't think that they're going to spend millions of dollars to develop a game just for PC so that they can keep their smallest user group from getting pissed. I mean, I don't see that being a thing. But there's going to be some very compelling content come to PC from Oculus in the form of Quest ports, and then in general, outside of Oculus, when we're talking about PlayStation VR 2 and the multi-platform titles that are going to start to emerge after that platform uh, establishes itself.
yeah, true, very true.
Um, Anyway, I think it was Ray Delator said, I'm more excited for Resident Evil 4 and After the Fall than this game. Well, yes, anyone who's a fan of awesome gameplay is. And I got to agree there. I think the star of the show at the end of the day was, in fact, Resident Evil 4. And that just goes to show that Ray says that I'm saying that. I imagine you're probably on the same page as well. As awesome as the beautiful Lone Echo 2 looks, it's this Quest exclusive here. This 15-year-old game has got me more hyped than anything else they showed.
Yeah, that's what it means for VR in general. And I've I talk to people all the time, every single day about VR, and just bringing up Resident Evil, the fact that it's coming to VR. It's weird, man. It's like all of a sudden VR has street cred that it didn't have last week with a lot of these people. They're like, "Oh shit," like that. I kid you not. Their eyes are lighting up, and they literally really believe, okay, wow, we're finally there. And then I go on and say, yeah, they're working on Assassin's Creed, they're working on Splinter Cell. Rockstar's working on an open world VR game. We don't know which one it is. I mean, the writing's on the wall. VR is here to stay. It's taking off. Resident Evil 4 is, from what people say, unlike what a few people have said, it's a garbage game, although they keep putting it onto every platform. And some people say it's the best of the series. I don't know. I only played a little bit of it. I'm excited to play through it in VR. And it's Resident Evil, dude. Finally on the Quest, on the platform that people just found out that they're able to get into VR for an affordable price. They don't need a computer, and now they find out they got Resident Evil coming. Like, it's just one thing after the next, bro. And I just don't think, some people are very short-sighted. They're not seeing the big picture. Like, we're like ready to blast off, bro. Like, we're at, countdown 10 seconds to take off, It's we're here, dude.
Yeah, when you talk about franchises that could potentially sell headsets in terms of traditional gamers, people who play console games. Um, I don't know if you can get much bigger than Resident Evil as a franchise. I mean, when I think about the franchises that have come to VR already and how big they are outside of VR, I think of Half Life, but Half Life's not as big as Resident Evil is, not in the big picture. I think of Doom. Doom could probably rival it. Doom might be a bigger franchise, but like things like Fallout 4, stuff like that. Uh, nothing really quite stands up to Resident Evil. So I think that people inside our little bubble here uh, don't quite fully understand yet what a big deal this is. That we're getting this on a VR system that isn't a PlayStation. You know, uh, it was kind of expected on PlayStation, right? That, you know, that's where Resident Evil lives, is on PlayStation. That's where it was born. But for this to be on uh, a very accessible standalone piece of VR hardware is it's a big deal, and we're gonna see that firsthand when this thing drops later this year.
Yeah, and not only that, but all those people, and I guess a lot they'll say, I don't care about Resident Evil 4, but it'll be something else down the road. All the people that have said I'm not getting a Quest 2, maybe you will be. Like at some point, it's like I've said about Apple VR. I despise Apple, but if they put out a good product and it gives me something I can't get from somebody else, I may be picking up an Apple headset. At some point, there's going to be so many titles, and this is it's just bigger than that. It's the newest system. It's the one that everybody has access to, and it's getting the best titles. It's like a tsunami.
Yeah, yeah, and I can't wait to see how the rest of the year unfolds because we all know that Oculus pretty much sat on their big guns, right? They didn't reveal anything. The only new game that they even brought up was that snowboarding game, that carved snowboarding, which looks cool and all, but you know, it's not their big guns. They're still sitting on those titles, and we'll hear more later about the Splinter Cells and the Assassin's Creed, the Boneworks. You
Mm.
know, we'll hear more about this stuff later this year, and that's not to mention, you know the studios they picked up. You know, what are they working on? When's the next Beat Saber coming? Or you know, the Beat Games has to be working on whatever their next thing's going to be. Um, you know, Ready at Dawn's working on Lone Echo too, but I guarantee that's not all that they're working on. You know what I mean? And then we have who's Sanzaru Games. You know, Asgard's Wrath came out a while ago. What have they been doing?
Yeah, they
I
didn't buy it.
guarantee it.
They didn't pick them up. Just have them just sit there, right? They're doing
Right,
something
right.
big. Paradise Decay says RE4 News is already selling Quest 2s. He knows at least 10 people now that are asking advice on the best way to get a Quest 2. And that's him personally. And I'm sure each one of us knows somebody that's came into VR or is thinking about going into VR. And I run into people every single day. Like I said, I bring it up to people that are 80 years old, Wes, and I just throw it out there like we were talking about it the whole time. That's pretty cool.
Hard to get says nobody around me knows what an Oculus is and barely know about PlayStation VR. Well, bro, that's on you. It
Yeah.
is your job to let these people know. That is the quest. That's the whole meaning behind that title. We're kind of on a quest here to take VR to the mainstream, and that's what this channel is about, and that's what I'm all about. It's what I've been about for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So get on it, bro. Let them know what it is.
And Radio Rot says, if your Airlink is not working, try to reboot your computer. It apparently fixed whatever was going on with him, and his is running great now. So that's good. All you
Yeah,
need is a
yeah.
restart, refresh.
Uh, Onakazi says, as far as I know, there will be another Connect this year, and I think that they would save some big announcements for that. Exactly. Oculus Connect is kind of their big thing. It's not this little state of play type of deal that they showed this past week. So, uh, Oculus Connect, that's where they're going to show us their cards, or at least some of them. And
Oh,
Drew says, yeah, I could see another showcase in the late summer, early fall. Yeah, well, we already know about Oculus Connect, but we also have the Upload thing, right? In the summer, Upload VR is going to have their game showcase, and I know Jamie Feltham was uh, commenting the other day how excited he was already looking at the early lineup that they're putting together for that. That's something to look forward to as well.
Yeah, I can't wait to find out what Rockstar's working on, bro. It doesn't matter what it is. I think it's gonna blow our mind. It could be five, it could be six, it could be Red Dead, it could be something new. I'm just excited.
Anyway, yeah, I thought it was funny how many people went to the Rockstar thing when they were speculating about what might be on this Oculus showcase. We need to remember that that Rockstar studio that announced that they were going to be working on a VR game hadn't started on it yet.
It's
Like
gonna be
they just had finished their project and said that their next project would be a VR project. But this is going to be years down the road, dude. I mean, 2023 at the earliest, I would think.
yeah, because they were hiring. That was a part of the announcement, right? We're hiring all these people. That tells you they're just starting. But yeah, I'm willing to wait, man. It could be within development of GTA 6. You know, maybe it comes out in VR as well. Whatever's gonna happen.
Could
That
be anything, and that's the exciting thing about it.
yeah.
Anyway, I guess we should probably get into our news at some point here. We do have some pretty cool stuff to talk about today, but before we get into all that, let's say hello to our friends in chat that we haven't already spoken to,
No,
right? Wolveraza and Drew. Drew says that was deep, Wes. Mind blown. Yeah, man.
that's what Wes does. Wes does the deep dive like nobody else, bro. When it comes to VR.
Yeah, well, we haven't had. It's been a while since we had a nice deep dive on the state of VR on the Wednesday show, right? So maybe we should do one of those again here soon and really break it down because there have been a lot of developments in every sector since the last time we did one of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Onakazi is in the house, as is Doomsly 82. He says, you know who else likes the link?
My
Yeah,
mom!
she does.
Our friend PD showing up to the chat. Meow Meow the Gamer Cat is here. Radio Runt got his Airlink working smoothly now. Just needed a restart. You know, that's something people uh, don't do enough is restart their computer. I can speak from experience. I keep monitors on my system resources and I watch them all the time. And there's a certain level of stuff going on in your background that grows with time. The more you browse the internet, the more you run programs, stuff just kind of makes its way into your background, whether it be bots or what have you, and it accumulates with time. So anytime I'm going to be doing anything that's resource intensive, that every little bit counts, I always restart my computer first because it kind of clears the docket, if you will, and gives you your best performance, gives you a clean slate.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good. And sometimes I mean, that's what is the first thing they tell you with Oculus Quest 2 if you have issues. I mean, not only restart it, but they'll have you I mean, the number one thing, I'll just do factory reset. Like that's their number one answer, factory reset.
Right.
Phil Yarn says he heard Crashland and Swarm were trash. And you know, I used to like that guy, Phil Yarn. No, just kidding. Actually, I'm pretty sure he's trash decaying me. Um,
Trashland.
yeah, Trashland. I'm almost 99% because I know Phil Yarn knows good games. I almost guarantee he's tried at least one of those by now.
You know what the capital of Trashland is, Roots?
No.
Garbage Town.
Oh yeah, dude. Who doesn't love Garbage Town these days, right?
Right. Traveling Man 3775 is with us as well as Hard to Get in the house. Scion was here at one point till we started talking about Quest, and then he took
Out.
off running in the other direction.
He's outie. He does the same thing for Space Junkies. He's outie.
right. Hack's around somewhere, and a cast of tens, Roots, in the chat, ready for some VR news. But before we get on to the news, one more thing I want to do here. As many of you know, we announced our contest winners last week, and as I said I would, I started informing the winners and giving them the opportunity to claim their prize. But I wanted to wait a few days before I did that to let the audio version get out to the radio listeners or the podcast listeners, because obviously they're the ones who got the first place prizes, right? So I waited a few days, and then I contacted the first place winner, and Stephen Pearsall uh, was the winner, and I gave him a list of game routes. We had like 30 titles to choose from.
Oh,
Like we
wow.
have a big list of keys. Some of those we have multiples of too. It's kind of nuts. But I gave him like 30 games to pick from, and you know what he chose, Roots?
I'm kind of now. I have no idea. I know we don't see my conundrum is I know we don't have any copies of Oshiwash, or that would have been my first guess. But what did he pick?
He chose to not take a game. He said to keep his game. What he really wanted was a shout out.
Oh, wow. Well, dude, you know what? You rock, bro, man. Because that's gonna leave the game for somebody else, and now we get to shout out how awesome you are.
Stephen Pearsall, here's your shout out, man, for being an overall cool dude. And you know what? I even told the guy, like, what, you just want to shout out? I can just shout you out, dude. You can still have your game. And he still never picked the game. So if you're listening to this, Stephen, I hope you are. Here's your shout out, and dude, just pick a game if you want one, man. It's yours. You know, it ain't no thing to shout you out. We shout out our chatters every week. We shout out our Patreons. We shout out everybody, and now we're shouting out you. So way to be a solid dude, and thanks for listening to the show.
Yeah, yeah, dude, you rock, bro. Radio Run says Taco Face, and Taco Face also rocks just like you do. Um, but yeah, so Phil Yarden, he says his Airlink works great, but he wishes it was a little more crisp. So I think you just need to turn the bitrate up, right?
Yeah. If it's not if it's kind of pixely, then it's most likely your bit right.
Yeah.
Um. Anyway, after Steven asked for a shout out, we informed Tris, who I think was in the chat a while ago,
Mm-hmm.
and Tris will be getting a brand new copy of Hellblade:
Oh, hell yeah,
Sinuous Sacrifice.
dude.
So solid choice.
Yeah, that's a solid game, bro. Really
It's
good.
probably, that's what I was telling him is besides maybe Saints and Sinners, it's probably the best game on that list.
Well,
Not that
Borderlands
there's
2
not
is
great
also good.
games. Yeah, Borderlands 2. I mean, there's a lot of good games on there. A lot of good games.
Yeah.
A lot of the best games in VR.
Expensive games, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, you know, while we're talking about good games and we're talking about classic games, let's talk a little bit about Doom 3 VR for Oculus Quest. Team Beef has updated Doom 3 on Quest with some major new additions. The team has now added support for two-handed weapon grips in the game, so you can more realistically wield weapons like rifles and shotguns. The shotgun itself has also been tweaked, making sounds and performance closer to how the weapon handled in last month's PSVR port from Archiact. Team Beef has also improved world scaling and given NPCs and enemies bigger heads. The update gets rid of automatically switching weapons when you pick new ones up, increases the default walking speed, and adjusts the positioning of the PDA. For those of you who are interested in these updates and are as excited about them as I am, you can update the game easily by simply clicking install a headset on the side quest listing. So, Roots, PSVR last month, Doom 3 comes out, a solid port from Archiact with aim support and a lot of pluses, a few minuses to that game. But one of the big things that really was awesome about it was that shotgun. The way it looked, the way it sounded, the how powerful it was. It's a lot stronger in that version of the game. It wasn't long after that release that Team Beef started talking and said, you know what, we're going to make our shotgun like that shotgun. And then I started doing my Doom 3 comparison series right here on the channel, where I played each version of the Doom 3 and said what I like about them and what I didn't like about them. And it's funny, man, if you go back and look at those videos, one of their developers on Team Beef constantly leaving comments all through it, multiple comments on both videos talking about things that I said in the video, things I pointed out, and things that they're planning on doing. Uh, so when I look at this update list here, Roots, and I see things like faster movement and moving of the PDA, this was all stuff I was nitpicking. And I think it's pretty cool because I'm sure I wasn't the only one that said it, but I feel like I, in some small way, uh, did something to make this already awesome game a little bit better.
Well, it goes to show, like, if the devs don't know, they can't fix it if they're worth anything. And these, Team Beef is just proving that they're amazing, right? Like, I like the way that these mods are coming out, because they're being done in a way that is amazing for all of us to play these amazing games in virtual reality, right? But it's also done in a way that you need the assets from the actual game, so it's a win-win. Like, the people that own the game love it because people are buying their game to put it into Quest, right? I mean, nobody's losing. Everybody wins in this scenario. And it just keeps opening up everybody's eyes that, the more mods like this that come out, it just has to show the big companies that, like we could do this. Like, if a little team like this can make such an amazing mod and game, bring it into VR, then why can't they do it, right? I mean, I would imagine that some of these games that we're seeing, like Doom 3, for PSVR, which incidentally has not been patched yet, from what I've seen in the chat. How do we know that these don't exist if we didn't see all these mods over the last couple of years coming out, right? To open up the eyes of the developers.
Yeah, man. It never ceases to amaze me what these modders are capable of. Like they do some really amazing work. Doom 3 just one of many examples of games that if you didn't know it, you would think that it was a professionally done port of the game. I think of Doom 3, I think of Grand Theft Auto 5. There's some pretty solid ports out there.
Yeah.
GamerCat13 joining the chat says, hello, not able to stay long. Celebrating mom's 76th birthday this weekend. Well, thanks for stopping by. It's really cool that you even showed up at all. I appreciate it. Yeah, my father-in-law's birthday was actually a few days ago.
Hmm.
And they're having his party right now. So while I'm sitting here doing this, my family all over there, which I think they just got back. But I feel you. I feel you there. So thanks for stopping by. We talked about your game, by the way, at the top of the show. So be sure to catch the replay later. And tell your mom happy birthday from the community here. And thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, it's funny. It's my daughter's birthday today too. So they're also celebrating over there while I'm over here. But you guys, this is the community, bro. You're the fan.
So apparently April's the month, right? Because my daughter's birthday was a couple weeks ago, and my on the 21st it was my wife's father's birthday and my dad's birthday.
Oh,
they have
wow.
the same birthday, both of our dads.
That's crazy.
On the 21st, and then this week our wedding anniversary. So,
ooh, that's the most important one.
Yeah, lots of stuff happening in April.
Yeah, cool.
I've been married. Has it been that long? 21 years, Roots. I've been married.
No, I don't doubt it, dude. I was with my ex over 20 years when we split, and that was like 14 years ago. It's a long time, bro.
Many years, many years.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome just how attentive the Team Beef has been. I mean, who are we, man? Yeah, obviously we have a cool channel here and we're growing. We're we don't have the most subscribers, but I always call us the content creator, right? People see our shows, maybe not a lot of people, but We have a pretty far reach for as small as our numbers are. But really, in the big picture, there's so many other channels that have more influence than we do. So to see that some comments that I made on one of my videos, uh, to see it being put through to the devlog, small little nitpicky stuff being addressed, just goes to show you how much these guys care about their quality of their work, right? Just the fact that anybody had anything negative at all to say about their game was enough for these guys to get to work and fix it. And I think they deserve to be complimented for that. And I think Hard to Get deserves a compliment because he said, let me find the comment here, that he messaged Team Beef weeks ago and shared his config files to tweak the scaling. So apparently, we're not the only ones that had a little hand in that. So did he.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. Yeah. I'll tell you what, man, it's a testament to that never always let people know what's going on, right? What your thoughts are. And it's awesome. Traveling Man says happy birthday all around. Throwing a 5 spot up in the air of $1 bills raining down, bro. We
Making it
appreciate it.
rain. That'll be a buck
Yeah.
for my daughter, a
Make
buck for both my dads, and me and the wife will take the other two for our anniversary.
Yeah, and Rendered Reality can take one. Actually, you guys get one. Rendered Reality gets one for Tyler's birthday, which was yesterday, and Sean's anniversary is next weekend. You guys are anniversary brothers, bro. It's crazy.
Wow, that is kind of weird.
That is
It's
weird.
weird, bro. Everything, it all means something, dude.
It's
There's a
all in
number
sync.
23 in there somewhere. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I absolutely.
Anyway, as I was saying, uh, as soon as I get the streaming back up, we were planning on jumping back into to the PC mod of Doom 3 because I lost well, I didn't lose, but I had some technical difficulties with my video and it didn't meet my quality requirements, so I never put it out. So we're going to redo that one in a stream, but it looks like we're going to have to revisit Doom 3 VFR or Doom 3 VR on Quest because it's not the same game it was when I did that video. So we want to give the people an accurate representation of all the different versions of Doom 3 and which ones are better in what ways.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Anyway, this is going to end up being like Scion's favorite show because we have more news from the Questland roots. Zero Caliber Reloaded, the military shooter from X Real Games, coming to Oculus Quest on May 13th. Zero Caliber VR came to PC VR back in 2018, launching via Steam Early Access and the Oculus Store for Rift. Although it shares a lot in common, the new version for Quest is said to be, quote, basically a totally different game compared to the original PC version. Zero Caliber Reloaded is launching on both Quest and Quest 2. And since it's not the same game as the PC VR version, it will not be supporting cross buy. Xreal says Quest 2 enhancements will include physically based rendering textures on the weapons and hands at launch, with more enhancements coming in post release updates. The studio says it's also planning, quote, quite a few post release updates with new content, game modes, and improvements. And for those of you who aren't familiar with this game, I got a little description here from the developers. It says, you'll find yourself in a war ridden dystopian United States as a newly enlisted OSA soldier. That is Outer States of America, the last bastion of hope. War over water destroyed the world as we know it. A fearsome organization worshiping Tealoc, the Aztec god of rain, has emerged from the chaos. What's even worse, they know something that can change the fate of humanity. So, Roots, apparently we've got a whole new campaign here, a whole new Zero Caliber for Oculus Quest. And by judging by the looks of this brand new launch trailer, I mean, this thing looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think it's more linear or not linear? But like, remember how we had when we tried to go together, we had to go individual quest by quest or whatever. It was a little bizarre the way it was. I was saying I just kind of wanted to go in and just go have the story kind of pull me through and not have to go into each individual scene or mission. I wonder if that's a
Well,
little bit different
well,
or not.
to be fair, we didn't. It wasn't that we had to choose. If we just sat there, it would have it auto loads the next one, but it does bring up this this selection screen at the end of each mission that you have to sit and wait for it to time out before it loads the next one. I think, and I'm no expert on Zero Caliber. I think that that is specific to the co-op. I think if you play it single player, it's a
Mm.
cohesive campaign, but when you go in with a friend, they kind of break it up so that you can play what you want to play. But that's just my belief. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I don't know. I don't know what the structure is going to be in this Quest version. I hope to find out though because it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be an option to just have it all in one. It just for me, it was like the one thing that, or it was one of the things that people didn't like about Medal of Honor. And granted, it didn't have a what was it that it said at the end of every one?
Like
Um,
victory.
Victory. You know, you didn't hear a physical victory after every mission, but it is kind of pulling out of the immersion of being in this wartime scenario to go back to the hangar and hang out for a minute with the people in between each scene. I just didn't like it. Wes can tell you when we played it, I bitched about it. So hopefully they do bring it in. It just for me it was just one a little bit less immersive than it could have been. Um, you know.
Now, to be clear though, I want to make sure we're being accurate here. We the only times we had to go back to the hangars when we had some kind of issue linking up in the multiplayer. When we stayed connected, it's just a screen that pops up right there in the level, a selection screen, and it goes you on, and you go on to the next level. You don't actually have to go back to the hangar to choose the next level.
Okay, well, either way, having a screen pop up and sitting there waiting for it to time out is still immersion breaking for me. You know what I mean? I'd still rather just finish the mission and continue walking forward through the story into the next mission, and hopefully that'll be the case. But I mean, it's not something that was a deal breaker. It just for me, it just felt disjointed.
Oh yeah, obviously that's something that they could improve upon. But I think it's a fairly small thing in the big picture. Um, but yeah, you're right. It would be easier to follow the story of the game if we didn't have to do that, and it would be nice if the co-op experience were more like the single player experience. Now that said, um, I think of all of these war type shooter games that I've played in VR. I mean, this Zero Caliber is probably my favorite one. Now, I need to play more Medal of Honor, obviously. Uh, uh, I'm not sitting here trying to convince people that this is better than that, but I didn't play it, obviously, as much as I needed to. So, of the action war type games that I've played, the fact that this has a campaign, like a story campaign, is everything. You know, I don't always want to just go shoot shoot people just to shoot them. I like to have some sort of an objective, and I probably should try Onward. But as for right now, Zero Caliber is on the top of that mountain for me, and I'm excited. I mean, look at these locations, dude. We didn't go to any of these places. This is obviously a new game.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like the story seems a little bit more fleshed out on this one, but of course we didn't go through the story too much ourselves. We were more just playing. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be good. This is like you said. There's not really anything like this, especially on the Quest. You can play Medal of Honor on the PC VR, but you can't play it on the Quest if unless you have a PC. So
Right. And Zero Caliber featuring recoil.
yeah, well there you go, Scion. You got to get it. You got to get yourself a Quest, and you Quest 2, and you got to do some recoil.
Yeah, absolutely. Um So yeah, not long to wait on this. What did I say? The 13th of May. So right there in that same week, Roots, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get Aftershocks from The Walking Dead, and I think there was even another game that was coming out right there at that same little time spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris Richardson says all the crew is here. Good times. Oh, GT dropping in the chat. Hello, welcome, friend. Uh, yeah, so everybody's here, Roots. Everybody's here to talk some VR. Uh, Generally, we're overly critical of developers when they choose not to support cross buy. Does it bother you in this case, Roots?
Well, okay. I was gonna say no, but let me preface it with, as long as what they're saying is accurate, then no. If it's a completely different game, then it's the same thing with as In Death Unchained, right? Like, how do you not charge people for a new version of a game? It makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense to me as well. And I know that the developers that are out there watching this saying, well, all Quest games are new versions of it. We have to put in new work and pretty much rebuild them from the ground up for Oculus Quest. We need to be clear here. We're not talking about uh, the work that went into it when we say um, it's a new game. What we're talking about is it's a new game for the end user. It's a new game for the customer. It's something that we haven't already paid for. When it comes to these other games like Moss and Super Hot and what have you, uh, yeah, we understand that work went into making it work on the Oculus Quest headset. Um, but these are games we already bought and already paid for. Now, am I saying that we should just get everything for free? No. But when you're paying $30 for a VR game, um, on the headset, this Oculus headset, we shouldn't have to pay another 30. Maybe 15, 15, 20 at the most. There should be some sort of discount, cross buy discount put into place when we're talking about ports. But this 100% agree with them not supporting cross buy with this because this is no port, which is great. I would much rather have a new game as to have the original ported over.
Yeah, I agree. And it's very short-sighted. I guarantee the amount of people that rebuy a game because it's not cross-buy are slim. You're really you're not benefiting from it. People aren't running out and buying it a second time. Maybe with some games they are, but for the most part they're not. And so you're just eliminating them from playing it on that platform. They've already paid for it, and like you said, it doesn't need to be an all or nothing. Maybe you reward these people. Say, hey, we realize you bought this on Oculus Rift, and because you did, we appreciate that. We're going to give you 25% off. You know, that's all you have to do. And you still get that money. I guarantee you make more money that way than charging full price. Right. So,
Yeah. And Sion joining the chat momentarily says, I would rather get PCVR zero caliber. Thank you. Uh, Nobody's making you pick, bro.
I am, dude.
Like,
Anthony says Zero Caliber is sneaky popular on Steam. It is actually pretty popular on Steam, right?
yes, it was a good game. And it goes on sale. It's been going on sale a lot lately, actually. Not only on Steam, but in these peripheral websites like Fanatical and Humble Bundle. You'll find Zero Caliber in these bundles, which is it's generally one of the better games when that happens.
Yeah. So hopefully, this will be exactly what they said. It'll be a completely new adventure. Um, and I definitely look forward to playing through it. And I feel sorry for Scion.
Yeah, for real though. Not really. I don't feel sorry for him. And
No,
by
I
the
don't.
way, his next comment was, "Gotta run
Oh,
later."
he just dropped the mic, bro. He's like, fucking
Right.
Quest 2 sucks. And then he's out.
Rather have it on PC, bro. You can't get this one on PC, bro.
That's true. That's true. It's just like Unchained, in Death, you can't get on PC either. So, although eventually we've said how they're going to have emulators or somebody's going to do it, right? at some point.
You'd think with this thing being Android based that they'll be able to successfully emulate it on PC at some point.
Yeah, Anthony dropping the GameRanking.com top 60, dude. If you haven't checked that out, go to Game Rankings. It actually is one of the best websites for having everything compiled, right?
Yeah, yeah, and they just I think he just said that they redid all their quest rankings or something
Oh,
here just
nice.
recently, and he says Zero Caliber Reloaded as the 21st most wanted quest game. It's pretty high up on my list right now, bro.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely looks amazing. And one of the things, we have a lot of shooters in VR. We have a lot of PvP, but we don't have many actual story-based co-op games that are military. Very slim, dude. Like, unless you're on the, especially on the Quest. So
Yeah, yeah. Trey VR says any date. Are we talking about Zero Caliber Reloaded?
I think
May
so.
13th.
Yeah,
Yeah, May 13th on that one.
yeah, a couple
So
weeks.
not very long.
Yeah, 4 people, bro. 4 people adventure.
Up to 4 people
Yeah,
on a quest. That's pretty cool.
it is.
And especially when you consider like app sharing now, uh, I should be able to just get one copy of this and play with my daughter or my wife or my son or whoever wants to play with me.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. You have the whole fam in there.
VR 365, is it May 13th on Quest for Reloaded? Yes, yes, it is. May 13th.
Yeah, it's coming. We're here. We made it,
Coming
Wes. We did
soon,
it.
bro. Coming soon.
Yeah.
So not very long to wait on this one, and I'm really looking forward to it, man. I want to grab my Sandlocky gun stock and jump in here with my friend Roots and take on some of these. What are they worshiping? It's This told me just a moment ago. They're worshiping the Aztec god of rain.
Yeah, we're not going to put up with that. We don't worship any Aztec gods in this stream. I'll tell you what. I got that Sandlocky gun stock. I'm going to be putting in some more time in as well as Wes, and I would imagine the next, probably not next week, maybe the week after, we'll do a discussion on it, huh? On
Sure.
what our
Yeah.
thoughts are and stuff.
Yeah. I need a reason to push me back into those games again. That sounds like about as good a reason as any, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a learning curve, Wes, to these gun stocks. I will throw that out there. There's something to be said about trying to maneuver stuff when you can't see it. So you got to kind of get used to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It takes some practice, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Anthony says May 6th for Demio. That is what I'm excited for because
Yeah. Yeah.
dude,
That was the one I was trying to think of a moment ago. That's the other one, DeMayo.
yeah, because I just think I mean I want a Dungeons and Dragons experience with my bros, and I think it's gonna finally happen.
Yeah, that one's out really soon. May 6th for DeMayo.
Yeah. Yep.
And Roots, VR pinball. VR pinball's coming.
It's
Ready
funny.
for pinball.
It's funny. I was reading the comments of that last video on how people were like giving you a hard time. Like you said, it sucked. You didn't say it sucked. You were just questioning whether or not having a physical thing is something that would like add that immersion, right? And I think you and Anthony were right, dude. If you could have like a setup to where you could be standing feeling like you're playing the actual machine, that's next level immersion, right?
Yeah, man. I just got to get me a VR pinball table with some buttons on the side and a plunger on the front, and then we'll be having real fun. Who needs the Star Wars adventure or adventure rather? We don't need any of that. We don't need your lightsaber dojo. I got Star Wars pinball, bro.
That's right, dude. Do you know they announced FX4? Somebody was saying for pinball, so that maybe FX3 will come to VR. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, those are even better, 3 and 4, because those aren't even in VR. It's it's pinball on a screen, man.
Well, but if they could put them in VR, or somehow bring it, I don't know. I love VR pinball. It's I was never a big pinball person. I played it when I was a kid, but it's just immersive. And one of my first VR pinball experiences was Back to the Future, bro. And I love everything about Back to the Future. That was one of my favorite movies of all time. I think you and I are very similar in that respect.
Yeah, love that movie. Onakazi says the Pin Sim. I'm debating building one. Yeah, yeah, dude. I mean that's what it would take to make it really awesome. You would need that that custom made table controller
Yeah,
for VR pinball.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Uh, PD says been hearing good reports about Star Wars pinball. Of course you are. Everybody loves VR pinball, man. I've never heard anybody say, you know what I really hate? That VR pinball. Everybody loves it.
Spry guy just said he just destroyed my Pinball FX2 VR scores. I'm gonna have to go in there, Wes. I haven't been in there for a long time, and it's one of those games where I mean, you really can if you're good at pinball, man. That was the thing back in the day when it used to cost money to go to the arcade. There's people that could sit there for hours on one quarter because they were so good of racking up. Right? There's actually a skill to it.
Oh yeah. Well, all trolling aside, I actually used to play pinball quite a lot when I was growing up, and I'm quite sure that there's a pretty heavy nostalgia factor going on in these VR pinball tables. Not to mention the pure, you know, novelty, the pure novelty of all the VR features that they add on top of it. Right?
Yeah,
They really, I'm sure, take full advantage of the 3D-ness of VR and put on quite a spectacle.
yeah, yeah. I think it's an amazing thing. I like it because there's things going on in there that you could never get in a real pinball machine, and I think it's special, Wes. It's a very special experience, and Star Wars is going to add to it. I just get excited. New tables in VR, I'm there.
Yeah, for sure. What I want, I mean, we've got all of these VR pinball tables. I want one good VR billiards game for
Ooh,
crying out loud. Can we please shoot pool in VR already? It's been 5 years in VR and nobody's cracked this code yet.
there's some things out there that make me wonder, Wes. There's no real good sports games. There's sports experiences, little here or there, but like, where's the Madden football? That's the thing, dude. If you could get Madden football or a football game, you start bringing in these NBA games and stuff. Oh man, you talk about people geeking out, dude. It's gonna be next level geeking for the sports fans.
Oh, I'm sure. But yeah, I think we're still a little ways away from that sort of thing because it's all or nothing with these sports sims, man. That has to be on point, legit.
You could do it, just put the same game in there. I mean, if you wanted to as a thing and just having the same controls from a third person perspective, watching all the characters doing their thing, maybe you could zoom in and throw the ball. I don't know, man. You're right. I mean, to get it right, it's gonna have to be done perfect. But there's really no attempts either, man. Like none, no real good ones. There's a sports scramble and there's little bits and pieces. It's like you're given a 15-second brief experience in the whole scheme of things where I want the full game. I mean, my dream would be to have the whole you could do the whole season, right? From beginning to end in VR would be amazing.
For
Tabletop
sure.
hologram Madden. That would be awesome, Anthony.
Um, VR Spry guy says, "Have I tried Sports Bar? I have tried Sports Bar, and the pool is actually pretty solid in Sports Bar. The problem with Sports Bar is the locomotion is just dog shit. It's terrible. It's so immersion breaking, and it's hard to deal with, and um, it's a lot to ask just to go in there and to play pool to have to deal with that dog shit locomotion. I did not enjoy it at all.
Yeah. Plus, there's distractions in their West. They want me to throw darts. They want me to do air hockey. It's too much going on in that sports bar.
No, I like Sports Bar. It's a good concept. It's very close to being I'm sure what it was meant to be. Like if they would just do that thing right, people would live in there, right? People would live in there if it had a bit more polish on it. But it's like they just released it and then it just was what it was, and it's not good enough. Not
Yeah.
for today's crowd. Maybe it was good enough, for the early adopters, but we have better stuff to play now.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, Someone else was talking about golf pool, asking if we had tried golf pool. I think Onikazi maybe asking if we'd
Oh
played golf
God,
pool.
we tried.
We tried to play golf pool, man, and the environments were really cool looking in golf pool. The problem with it was the party chat was broken. Like you couldn't communicate with the person you were playing against. So that just kind of noped us out within 10 minutes of not being able to get that to work. We just said, you know what? No, we'll go play something else.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of PCVR, let's see if we can wake Scion
Scion.
up here and talk a little PCVR. VHAIP. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it like that or call it VAPE. I don't know. But the release of VHAIP by Raviole Studio was teased with a short video this past week, and an official announcement is presumably coming in the near future. The game will be playable in co op, online, or solo, and you find yourself trying to survive in the deep jungle while being hunted by a vicious raptor until you are rescued. VHAIP supports 1 to 4 players, and you can set the game up to play against AI raptors, or get this, you can be the raptor against your friends.
Ooh.
Each match fully configurable with tons of options and 2 maps to choose from. VHAIP is currently planned for release on the Steam with Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and Valve Index compatibility. Roots, this is a survival game, but it's timed. It's kind of like Crashland style, like X amount of time you have to survive in this jungle. Only, unlike Crashland, um, you, rescue is not guaranteed. You have to do things to summon your rescuers. You have to find flares. You have to find a safe spot for the helicopter to land. There are things that you have to do other than just staying alive. But it's not total stealth. You can be offensive. You can kill the dinosaurs, but no matter what, you just have to make sure that they don't kill you before you manage to escape. And again, up to 4 player co op. And one of these players can be the adversary, can be the dinosaur. You, Roots, could eat your friends
Oh,
at the drop of a dime.
that sounds like fun. Chasing somebody down and attacking them. Uh, yeah, it sounds like a pretty cool concept, right? If it can pull it off. I wonder how many maps they'll end up having in the long run. I know it's 2 now, but I would imagine you'd want to add a few more over time. But it looks really cool. I like the concept for sure.
Yeah, cool concept. We always applaud these developers for coming up with original concepts, and this is original for sure. Imagine if you were playing Robinson the Journey, and then the dinosaur ate Robinson.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I
Pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, it would be for sure.
Bloody guts everywhere.
Yeah, as long as it would allow me, and that's the thing. If I'm gonna be the raptor, dude, like you better allow me to chew in and start thrashing. I want to see blood
Well,
everywhere.
look at that. Look,
Oh
there it
God.
is, bro, right in front of you.
Mhm. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. So it's only
Anyway,
only a couple weeks, not even a couple weeks, right? A couple
well,
days.
that's what this trailer said. Now they haven't made any kind of announcement outside of what we just saw flash up on the screen there. So I assume that's accurate, but I don't know. Their Steam page doesn't say that. It just says April, and like there's no like news articles or anything saying that this thing is coming out. So
Hmm.
hopefully that's accurate.
Well, if
Um,
it's not, I mean, well, think about this. They said April. This says April 28th. So maybe it's the 29th, maybe the 30th. I'll give them a couple of days lee room or leeway, or it could be completely delayed. So
yeah, yeah, who knows, man. I will say that I think it looks pretty good graphically. Like the visual's not half bad. There is a bit of an indie feel to it. I mean, um, You kind of always question going into things like this because day one indie on Steam can be a little bit jank ridden. Um, that going to deter you very much?
No, it depends. If the developers give me a key, it's not going to deter me at all. If if I don't get a key, then I would. This is my MO. Something like this, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna read the reviews and see what people are gonna do. So I guess it does deter me a little bit, just because you never know. You never know if it's gonna be good or not, and it looks good. Hopefully, it is good.
Yeah,
Yep.
they have a cool logo too. This is the type of thing I like to play on Infinity. Like if this game were on Viveport Infinity, I'd totally play it.
Yeah, because then there's no. I mean, it's like well, I want to check this out. I just don't. Even though you can refund games, I try not to pick up games to refund them if I don't. If I know I'm not gonna like something, I'm not gonna just get it to try something. Although it looks like I would like this. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it
So,
depends on how big the maps are going to be and how involved the objectives are. There's quite a bit of like scavenging and things they're showing in this footage. Um, so I mean, they've done a good job here of making it seem like it's going to be a fun concept to play. Now, how replayable is it? That remains to be seen. Uh, if you're just doing the exact same thing every time and like things don't change spots, like if you always go to the same spot to get the flares and and nothing changes about it, it could get old pretty quick. But it does have that co-op factor, which is going to bring some variability to the matches anyway, and that might be this game's saving grace is that you can play it with your friends.
maybe we somehow they just didn't say it and it's procedurally generated. Although I'm 99% sure you'd be like saying, "Hey, this is procedurally generated." That would be amazing because that's what it
Yeah,
needs, right? You need to not know, like everything needs to be different, like everything, where
well,
everything is.
I can deal with where the map being a fixed map. I'm okay with that. But the items need to move around a little bit. The things that you need, you should have to look for them every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 365 Island. Yeah, I remember that game. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty.
Island 365.
Yeah, yeah, I got that game. I played it.
Three, 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 three.
Well, anything with a
Anyway,
365 in it is good. I think VR related.
I'm mildly interested in this game. It caught my eye because it looks like indiness aside, it looks like solid work, a unique concept, and again, they have a cool logo and a nice trailer. So Anthony said it many times that that's kind of step one for these guys. They need to have a good logo and a nice trailer,
Yeah,
and they manage that. So I'm going to keep my eye out on it, and hopefully we get a chance to try this one out and get a report back on it later.
yeah, absolutely.
Staying in the realm of PCVR news from Deep Dive Interactive, they have just released an update to Vengeful Rites, the VR role playing game available on Steam. First released in 2018, this early access title has undergone many patches and updates, and this update in particular brings with it the conclusion to the game. This update also brings new spells, new enemies, puzzles, and more, and bumps the game's average playtime up to around 15 hours.
Wow.
The update's massive patch log also lists numerous quality of life improvements and various bug fixes. With most of the content finished, the developer now be polishing the game and implementing other improvements such as an updated tutorial, further optimization, and a new means of fast travel. Vengeful Rites available now on Steam with support for all sorts of Steam VR headsets. So, this is one of those games, Roots. I like the concept of it. I even like the look of it, but I've always kind of avoided this one, man. I don't know. Back when I was new to VR, this thing wasn't nearly as polished looking as it is now. And now that I'm looking at the footage, it actually looks pretty cool. Have you tried this one out?
I think I have. I don't remember too much. I believe I have, but I need to go back into it. It looks like it's got everything we need. We loved, what was that other game we played together that we loved? It was very similar. Um,
That was the Carnage
yeah,
Chronicles.
Carnage Chronicles, and I really loved that one. And that Carnage Chronicles blew me away just by the way that the action was, right? The way that the fights, the scenes, the healers, and I would imagine this game's going to be no different. And just the fact that they're finally finishing this game, they started their adventure in 2018, and 3 years later, they're finally bringing it out of full early access, which is cool. Shows you that you can should never give up on a game, right? The developers are just continually plugging away, and it may have taken them a little bit of time to get their full game out, but it's here, and that's cool.
Now it's time for them to start optimizing it for Oculus Quest.
Yeah, yeah, bring it to the Quest, bro. But yeah, I think this is definitely worth something we should check out for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Now that the campaign is finished, I mean, who wants to play an incomplete game? But now that it's finished, I mean, a 15-hour campaign, that's pretty legit.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it just looks really good. Like you said, even just the sword fighting here with this goblin looks very legit. You know, you're not just waggling your sword. You're having to actually fight them, and that's what we want. So
Yeah, and that was another thing back then when I first learned of this game. Pretty much the any melee game was just a waggle fest, so that kind of turned me off. And melee has come a long way since then, so I got to imagine that it's pretty good now.
yeah, absolutely.
And I like what I'm seeing here. It looks like a fantasy themed game with some very diverse scenery, like and enemies. The enemies very diverse and creative looking. It looks like a Zelda game, pretty much.
Yeah, Phil Urine says it's kind of a questical now as far as graphically, but the gameplay is really great, and it's a must play if you like RPGs, and that's the way I would say it. You know, and then the way I look at it, and I've said it many times, you know, I feel like when I look at something that's a little bit more cartoony, I got sucked into this cartoon world, and I'm now fighting in this cartoonish world, right? Um, my thing is I walk outside, I see the real world, dude. I've never walked outside West and seen a cartoon world in my 46 years of living. And that's what VR is supposed to do, right? It's supposed to take us, transport us to environments that we can't experience in real life. And so I think people forget that. They want everything to be a sim, everything we got to recreate and look at our hands like it's a real hand. And sometimes I want to be in a fictional world. So
Well, it's props to Phil Yarn for pointing that out because a lot of these same people here that'll crap on the Oculus Quest games and their cartoony graphics have been talking about how much they love this game for years. You know what I mean? But I guess it's okay in this case because
it's
it's
PC.
not on Quest,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, and that's the thing, man. I'm telling you, gameplay is key. It's king. You know, graphics are secondary. Doesn't mean they're not important, but if the game sucks, if the gameplay's not fun, it doesn't matter how good it looks. So,
Anyway, I think that this game's worth a shot. It's a shame that this one isn't on Viport. I think this would be another good Viport title. Uh, I mean, if you want people to play it, that'd be a good way to get people into it, right?
yeah, absolutely. I'd love to play it on Viveport Infinity for sure.
Throw it on Infinity and then hit them with some DLC in a year, some paid DLC.
Yeah.
Uh, Anthony said he said something about Carnage Chronicles a moment ago. I
It
was
says I've never been to
lost
San
there.
Francisco. I went to San Francisco before it became the cesspool it is now. When I was a kid, it was a really nice place back then. Um, I don't know if I like it now.
Anthony's saying that Carnage Chronicles is another level. It's top 30 PCVR game on his list. That's something that it's a shame that one never came to PlayStation VR. I felt like it would probably have got a lot more love over there on that platform.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good, right? The gameplay is amazing.
Beautiful game too.
Yeah.
Very glowy. You know what? The people are modding Zelda Breath of the Wild into VR now, and it's something that you've been able to do for a while, but this most recent mod that they've been showing off looks like legit, like a full VR mod for Zelda Breath of the Wild. And if that happens,
That's the next level
uh,
geeking.
yeah, that's the next level, bro. That game is it's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, news winding down. One more game to talk about just for a moment before we get into our weekly reminders. VR Skater from indie studio Deficit Games, set to release in the Steam Early Access in just a few days on April 30th. The developers described the game as a quote, finely tuned mix between arcade and simulation, as it features realistic environments, but also gives you plenty of gravity defying lift and finesse to execute moves that most of us could only dream of pulling off. At launch, VR Skater will include custom built environments, skateboarding controls designed especially for VR motion controllers, a skate academy to learn all the tricks and complete challenges, and the ability to skate the game's environments freely. During the game's time in early access, the studio plans to add a career mode, map challenges, an online leaderboard, achievements, skateboard customizations, more maps, more than 15 hand-picked songs, and support for WMR. Full release is planned sometime around Q4 this year. And at launch, the game supports Valve Index, HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and Oculus Link. Um, this one getting a fair amount of hype, Roots, and I find it interesting because I get it, right? It's kind of a no-brainer to to do skateboarding in VR. But you got to get your hands on it. This is one of those games that I'm not going to know how I feel about it until I play it. Because when it comes to this, it's going to be all about the feel. It's going to be all about the control scheme. And because at the end of the day, uh, you're simulating things that you do in real life with your feet with controllers that are in your hands. So it's going to take some real ingenuity, I think, for this to actually translate into VR.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to take a little bit. And you're right. It's one of those things that until we play it and feel it, because I have the Tony Hawk's I don't know, whatever, 1 and 2 remastered or something, and I was playing through that recently, and it just feels so good. It's amazing, and if they can nail that with this game, I don't know that I won't want to come out, bro. Like, it's weird though, the rail light slides. I thought those were more in the middle, but I guess on this one it's on the end. But it definitely looks amazing, for sure.
You know, it's interesting, Roots, because when you play shooter games and stuff a lot, um, or any kind of first person games in general in VR, a lot of these people who are particularly anal about certain things like to complain when there's floating hands but no arms. And that, that's something that never really bothered me much. I like having arms, I like having a full body when it doesn't interfere with the performance of the game. Um, but I generally, if I just have floating hands, it doesn't really bother me because I'm always focused on the world around me, the enemies. I'm not just sitting here staring at my arms as I walk down, the path in some shooter. So I never really quite understood the fixation on that. But then we come to a game like this, VR Skater, where the whole time you're looking straight down, and do you see legs? Do you see your feet? No. You see an empty skateboard. Are you at all worried that this might break the immersion of this game? Because at the end of the day, you're supposed to be skateboarding, but where's my body, bro? This is just a magical skateboard.
It's a magical skateboard with floating controllers, which is a little bizarre as well, right? Like,
Yeah.
why not hands? I agree. I didn't even really think about the legs aspect of it, but it would be nice if like you could look down and see legs that are connected to the board that give you the feeling like you're actually on the said board instead of you are the board. Like literally the way that this looks like it's going to make you feel like you are the skateboard, right? not necessarily you're on the skateboard, but you are the skateboard doing tricks. But somebody in the chat said this game looks, or they heard it's amazing as far as the gameplay. So hopefully it's going to be as good as I'm hoping it is going to be. But who knows? Only time will tell. Oh, and incidentally, Team Beef is in the chat and thanked us for our coverage of their game.
Well, thanks for being so attentive to our feedback, Bumster. I don't know if you caught what we said earlier, but I'm taking full credit for your improvements on Doom 3 Quest. Well, no, not full credit. I'm sure that the PlayStation VR version from Archiac had something to do with it as well, a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, kudos, man. I haven't tried out the new version yet. I literally just found out about it when I was doing research for this show. But it's definitely up there on my to-do list. We're still in process of analyzing the different versions of Doom 3. And as I was saying to everyone earlier, it looks like I'm going to have to reanalyze the Quest version because these you seem to have addressed every little nitpick that I had with the game.
You know,
So I
what was funny is somebody in the chat said Bethesda still hasn't addressed the issues on the PlayStation VR game. You guys have already knocked it out and addressed everything quick. And that's one of the things that we say on this show is like you can tell a lot about a developer by how fast they react to the community. And you're rocking it. So we appreciate it.
And by the way, just anecdotally, I think you nailed it there when you said Bethesda and not Archiact, because Bethesda hired Archiact to do this port, and people keep asking Archiact when if they're going to patch it for the Pro, are you going to do this patch or that patch? But I'm quite sure that Archiact's not going to do anything that Bethesda doesn't commission them to do, right? If Bethesda wants there to be these patches, then they'll work it out with Archiact and have them do that. But as the things stand right now, Archiact delivered the product they were hired to do. So you can't really blame them if we don't get these patches that we want. The blame should fall squarely on the IP owner and publisher, Bethesda.
Absolutely. I mean, they're big enough that they definitely, I'm surprised. I'm shocked, that if I was a developer, they'd be like, oh my God, we got to fix this immediately. And like I said, it just tells you a lot about the devs. And actually, Rendered Reality in the chat as well says this game is amazing. There is a steep learning curve, and he never really thought about his legs when he was playing it. And so we're getting a recommend right off the bat right here, saying it's a good game. So now I want to try this.
Well, I wanted to try it to begin with because I loved Tony Hawk back in the day, and when I first got into VR, this is one of the first things that you think about, right? VR needs a great skateboarding game, but this looks like the foundation upon which a great skateboarding game could be built. We need more than just the open world freestyle. Follow the skateboard gameplay, right? We need some rule sets here, some competition. We need a point system. We need music, and very specifically, it has to be the right music, right?
Mm.
You can't play some dance crap here for this skateboard. We need some good loud punk music. We need some maybe a little graffiti in the environments here, and I mean, if they say you don't ever think about your feet and legs not being there, I'll have to take their word on that. But because it does seem a little weird to me here, it seems like RC Skateboard Pro is what it seems like. Seems more like a RC game than a skater game. But again, I've never played it, and they have, so I'm going to defer to them on this one.
That was one of the best parts about those Tony Hawk skating games was like finding all the letters and like just all the different things. You got to ring the bells and, giving you things to go back into these environments and stuff. And I'm sure it seems like this game is taking a lot of inspiration from Tony Hawk, which is
Oh
good
yeah.
because it was one of the best, if not the best skating game of all time that I've ever played. And like I said, I've been recently playing the remastered, and it's just as fun, if not more fun now. Although I'm realizing I'm not that good, as I used to think I was. Um, I'm sure my son would rock it, but
Yeah, I hope there's a lot of ground to cover in here, and that the environments are diverse, because I've always kind of wanted one of these types of games where you could skate, skateboarding and parkour. Like I like to, I like the idea of moving quickly through a fairly large urban map, right? Going through the alleys and, you know, this sort of thing, all the while doing some nice, fast, you know, addictive gameplay all along the way. So yeah, I think skateboarding is kind of a no brainer here, and uh, you know, I'd like to see a free running parkour game as well, that brings in diverse, realistic environments, and is just as much about exploring the map as it is the high paced, fast paced gameplay.
yeah, yeah. I think this game has high hopes. Um, I do agree with Anthony. The environments do look a little sparse as far as stuff goes, but it's in beta, and I'm sure they'll be adding more stuff, right?
Yeah, that's the one thing we have to remember here. That yeah, this is a work in progress, and this is going to be releasing into early access. So you know, we've seen it happen time and time again, that these things can very well turn out to just be, like I said before, the foundation upon which the game will be built.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy McAvoy says, "Have a coffee and Red Bull on him." Throwing a fiver at us. We appreciate it, Andy.
Thanks,
And
Andy. We appreciate it.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll have a Red Bull, and that man will have a copy. You can tell the real viewers, Roots, when he knows what we drink.
that's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Uh, VR 365, it's got to be a hoverboard. Yeah, right, right. I mean, it VR hoverboard 2000, and by the time we get that one, it'll have feet, no legs, just feet.
Okay. And I guess Anthony's clarifying. He said carve is a little sparse. VR Skater looks good to him. So don't want to put any
Okay.
words in your mouth, Anthony. And I agree. I think this game does look amazing. And we only have a couple days to wait. They said whatever quarter they said, but they changed according to this date. This is April 30th. So we only have, what, 5 days? Or is it?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yep, out this week, and that actually is a good segue into this week's reminders. And of course, we're going to kick off reminders as we have every week for, I think, the last 4 or 6 weeks. We've had stuff to talk about in the Out This Week segment. Uh, Most of these we've already talked about. So first, on April 29th, we're getting Star Wars Pinball VR from Zen Studios. This game is coming out on Oculus Quest, Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, Valve Index, and PlayStation VR. And just for the record, for all of you people out there that love this pinball stuff so much, I've pretty much just been trolling you guys this whole time. I think the thing looks super fun. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I like pinball. Of course, I think I'm going to like this game. Now, with that said, am I dropping $20 on a pinball game? No, and I don't even know how much this thing costs. But if it's 10 or $15, we'll think about giving it the nod of approval. If it's 20 to 30, then we're going to be waiting for a sale. What
yeah.
about this one, Roots? What do you think?
I think it's amazing. I think it's definitely worth $20 all day long. It's probably more a very likely price point. Um, I mean, you're getting 8 tables. Think about what you got with FX2, man. You didn't even get 8 tables. You only got three,
I
I
didn't
think
even
it
get
was.
FX2.
Yeah. Um, well, not you per se, but like if somebody bought one. Yeah, no, it's just not that you didn't get that much, and you didn't get the Star Wars nostalgia. Um, so I mean, it's very possible it's $30. And at that point, I think that is a little excessively priced. So
You know what would be cool is if they had a special table, or one of the tables where there's a fairly big gap in between the last set of flippers and the actual well where the ball goes, and you lose the ball. If there could be a good 2 to 3 second gap that you watch it go down into the hole, it would be cool if they put in this mechanic where you could quickly use the force to stop it and push it back up into play again. So like use your Jedi skills to affect the pinball game. That would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. Definitely be different. I don't know. That's one of the things it could do everything. Look, you're shooting your ball with fire. You can't do that in real pinball.
Goodness gracious. Anyway, not that comes out again on April 29th for all major VR platforms. So that's pretty cool. I always commend these studios who have the patience to develop for all platforms before they release. Because I mean that's a pretty tall order. Not only to get this thing going on Quest, but PlayStation VR is something that takes some time to publish on. So kudos to Zen Studios for putting in the work before they bring it to market.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for it. I can't wait.
Kudos to Vertigo Games too, by the way, for doing the same with After the Fall. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Speaking of PlayStation VR, Layers of Fear coming to PlayStation VR this week from Bloober Team and Incuvo, also on April 29th. Now, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about, Roots. People going nutso for the pinball, which looks really cool. Don't get me wrong, but if I'm PlayStation VR gamer dude and I'm looking at pinball or horror game, awesome psychedelic Layers of Fear VR. I mean, this is a no brainer. I'm going Layers of Fear 10 times out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah. It just depends on what you like, you know? I mean, I definitely think both of them are amazing games. And I think PlayStation VR is salivating at having any game. And here's two good bangers right here, right?
You know who loves two good bangers, Roots?
Oh, yes, she
My
does.
mom!
Oh, man. That's what I heard.
And last but not least, the very next day, April 30th, we just talked about it. VR Skater coming from Deficit Games. This game going to be playable on Oculus Rift, HTC Vive. I feel weird that we still say that, but HTC Vive and Valve Index. So another solid week of releases here, Roots.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a good time for VR, right?
See, this is the weird type of statement that I'm talking about. Paradise Decay in chat says, Andy McAvoy, I'll play VR pinball 90% more than say a game like Pop One. See, that's odd to me. Not that I play all that much Pop One, but if I see myself staring down both titles, I know which direction I'm going, right? I mean, not that I don't like pinball. I love pinball. I love Star Wars, but I feel like one's a bit of a novelty, and one other game is one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in my life.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's all personal taste, and I'll say it this way, because I've had a similar conversation with Scion, in the Discord about Swarm, and it's not his type of game. He's not into arcadey games, and he trash talks it like it's a piece of trash, and it's not that good of a game because it's not his taste. But it's an amazing game, and there's just people out there, especially maybe Paradise Decay one. Of course, I don't think he's this way because he does do a lot of multiplayer. But the thought of playing with other people versus being able to just chill and have your own experience with this pinball machine and feel like it's magical, right? Things are coming alive and doing things you never done before in pinball. It's just weird. I guess it's looking past the fact that it's pinball, and it's everything that we love about VR. Like, even if you don't give a shit about the pinball game, looking at that table and looking at all up close at all the little
Exactly.
things and the detail and like all of that is just, to me, is phenomenal. I guess I'm more like you. I'm gonna lean towards gameplay versus going in and checking out all this stuff. But I think you got both, right?
Novelty. It's novelty. That's my whole point. Is that a game like this is 90% novelty, 10% gameplay. It's going to be all about nostalgia. It's going to be all about 3D effects and just things that are cool to look at. But you know, how many times do you go back to a game like that?
Well, it just
right?
depends, and it's a good point. It's novelty, and it's exactly what I've been saying about a lot of this stuff. It's just the gameplay is king. And we've been in that zone for so long for PlayStation or PCVR, where we went into an experience and we looked at our hands and we looked around and we said it looked beautiful, and we walked around a corner and we picked one thing up and we, pulled a lever and we thought this is fucking amazing, and then 30 minutes later you get kind of bored because there's not much to the gameplay, but the gameplay is now catching up, if not surpassing. And so maybe it's a perfect point exactly that it is kind of a novelty or a tech demo-y thing. I mean, it's not a tech demo, but same thing, you know what I mean, as far as the old school games where you might go in for a while and enjoy it, but you're going to move on. Unless you're like a huge pinball fanatic, then it's probably the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, rendered reality actually read my mind here. It says, I still want to be able to set up the pinball tables and make it so that I can physically walk all around the room to play them. That would be awesome. Yeah, see, this is one of the things I thought about when I saw this, is that if I had this game, I'd like to take my Quest outside when it's like the edge of dark, overcast, when it's not too bright to be outside with it, and have my yard to walk around this big room, and just put the controllers down and just walk around it. That I think would be a cool experience.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Um, Doomsly 82. When do we get a first person Golden Axe 4-player co-op in VR? That would be cool. And I'll tell you who would be to request this from is the developers behind Path of the Warrior. Um, I'm having a brain fart here, Roots. Who's the developer behind Path of the
So
Warrior?
I'm drawing a blank as well.
Wilson's Heart, and yeah. Anyway, those guys I'm sure could do a great Golden Axe style game because Path of the Warrior was pretty cool.
Yeah, we're gonna see all these old school games come in. You know, we that's one of the things that we said like about 1976 and Operation Warcade and stuff. Like all of those old school games, man, just keep bringing them. You know.
Yeah, now don't forget too, we have Stones of Harlath coming, which I don't know if that's going to have that co-op going on with it, but it's that kind of a fantasy RPG, retro fantasy RPG.
Twisted Pixel, Anthony says.
Twisted Pixel. Thank you, Anthony. I knew he'd have it.
Yeah, me too.
All right. So that's going to bring us out of this week's releases and into our next reminder, which is this is a part of the show where we remind you to do your part to support the developers and to join us right now in real time as we do our part to support these amazing studios by taking a moment just to go and wish list one of these awesome games that we've talked about today, or maybe it could be something else that you have on your mind. But we like to recognize the games and the developers and show them support by wish listing their games and helping to raise the profile on Steam or Oculus or PlayStation Store or whatever it is that you use.
Yeah, absolutely. Anthony says Wilson's Heart. He's been playing Wraith, and it reminds him of Wilson's Heart, and I get the same similar vibe, Anthony, except for better locomotion, for sure.
Yeah, much better locomotion. Yeah, I don't want to go too deep in on Wraith right now, but I am enjoying my time in it, and I can see that comparison.
Yeah,
Although I mean there are some very stark differences, but yeah, it's that same kind of story centric game.
yeah, absolutely. And if you're curious about how Wes thinks that they're similar, tune in on Wednesday, and we'll have a deep dive of Wraith of the Oblivion, right?
Yep, this Wednesday on the late night show, the only late night VR talk show that I know of, we're going to be deep diving on Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife.
Yep.
So be sure to get your nap in early and be sure to hit the red button and the bell so that you don't miss out
Yeah.
on that conversation. All right, Roots, I think I'm going to wish list Zero Caliber Reloaded. I think of everything that we've talked about today. That's probably the number one on my list.
Pinball. I'm doing pinball. I want it. I want it
Doing
now,
pinball.
Wes.
Well, you have fun with that. While I'm shooting up tons of bad guys, you can talk about
Pinball it
how
up,
cool
bro. Yeah.
your room looks.
I'm gonna decorate Star Wars, dude. You know, one thing that's funny is I've never seen The Mandalorian, and so I could care less about that table, but it'll be cool to check out. And I know people think it's crazy that I've never seen it, but keep in mind that I checked out of Hollywood about 10 years ago, so I missed it, bro. Missed it.
How dare you call it the Mandalorian when it could be the woman DeLorean and you just don't know it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, dude. How rude is that? How dare they?
How dare
Check your
you?
check your privilege, bro.
Hmm.
All right, so we're gonna see if Zero Caliber Reloaded even has a page here on the Quest store. I'm not sure it does. Should. It's getting ready to come out.
Yeah, absolutely. Doomsly says, thanks for the great show. Has to go to bed now. Will you have a great morning slash night slash day slash nap or whatever it is? I don't know what time is it there, Doomsly. You probably didn't go to bed, but stayed up all night.
I'm not far behind you, bro. I am on my way.
I'll tell you
So
what,
yeah,
Jim Hall made me drink coffee last night, and so I didn't get much sleep either.
so no is the answer on the Zero Caliber page. So we're gonna go to our second place, Vengeful Rites.
Oh, I thought your second place was Star Wars. What's that, third?
Oh, there was a Star Wars game?
Oh yeah, there's a pinball
But
game coming on.
I've always wanted a proper Star Wars game. What was it?
Yeah, okay, so this is what's cool about it is it's a pinball, but it's got the Star Wars. No, I'm
Oh,
excited.
so it's like a Star Wars. It's like a pinball, but it has Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, Chris Richardson checked out of Hollywood. It's a Disney Plus show. I don't. I mean, I know about it. I just don't watch anything anymore. I don't watch TV shows. I don't watch movies that come out. I mean, I game and I, you know, watch stuff that really is happening in the real world. I just feel like at some point Hollywood, in general, has stopped trying. You know what I mean? They just stopped trying and they started trying to push stuff. And I'll leave it at that.
So Vengeful Rites has a free demo that you can play, and it's on sale for 30% off, $14 right now. And you can get a bundle with Vengeful Rites and the Morrigan for $27 right now.
Wow. I'll tell you what, Morgan, I really like that game. That was cool.
So yeah, good deals on the Steam store, and we'll get to that.
Chris Richardson said Squadrons is a proper Star Wars game. Wes, how dare you?
How dare you?
Yeah, I thought that's what he was talking about, man, when he said Star Wars, but apparently he was talking about pinball.
Some pinball game.
Anyway, oh, Jim Hall having some coffee with us. Well, hello there, friend. Welcome, Jim. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, I mean, Phil, you're right. $14. It's easily worth 14 for sure.
Yeah, Vengeful Rites. He's worth $14. I would imagine you're probably right, especially now that it's finished. I mean, that's $1 per hour, Roots.
Yeah, dude, and it's a good game from what people say. Anyway, I don't know that I've tried it.
Okay, so let's move on to our next set of reminders. Everyone's favorite set of reminders, Roots. Free stuff and killer deals. And we're going to kick off free stuff and killer deals as we always do by giving you your PlayStation Plus reminder. The month of April is another awesome offering from Sony. Days Gone for PlayStation 4.
Ooh.
Zombie Army 4. Dead War, also PlayStation 4. And Oddworld Soulstorm. Brand new game. Just came out for PlayStation 5. All these games included in your PlayStation Plus subscription for the month of April. But April is coming to a quick close. So if you haven't claimed these games already, go do it right now, or you're going to regret it.
Yeah, dude, your time is running out.
Speaking of time running out, all of those awesome free games that they were giving away with the Play at Home initiative, the time has run out on that. That is no longer the case. Those games all have their price tags reapplied to them now. But Roots, they did add one more game to take their place, and it's a doozy. It's a doozy because Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition is free to everyone who owns a PlayStation right now, whether it be PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. You can claim this game for nothing. You don't even have to have a PlayStation Plus account. You just have to go onto the store and claim it, and it's yours. So, how's that
That's
for
awesome.
a yeah, dude?
Are you
It
gonna
is
pay, are you gonna
awesome.
play it? I know you picked it up.
Oh yeah, I already picked it up. I may at one point. I'm one of these people like, even though Sony's giving it to me for free, I'm still kind of the mindset that if I'm going to play this, I'm going to pick it up on PC and Vorpex it.
Yeah. Or you're gonna play it in VR in a proper VR port if it ever comes, which there is rumors of that. So
Yeah, I do believe we're going to get a Horizon VR game. I don't know if it'll be a port of the original or like a VR mode in the sequel, or maybe even a standalone VR game. I don't know which, but I'm fairly certain that we're going to be getting one of those.
cool. Sounds good to me. I can't wait.
All right. Before we get off PlayStation, one more quick reminder that the PlayStation Spring Sale is about to come to a close. Few days left on it. So if you're interested in any of those awesome deals that we've been talking about over the last few weeks, your time is running out. You might want to pull the trigger on that now. And there's a lot of great games. I didn't list them here because I don't want to repeat myself. But I mean, Dreams is stupid cheap right now. Hitman 3 is on sale. Resident Evil 7 is on sale. There's just so many great games that are on sale. Five Nights at Freddy's on sale. Tons of awesome VR games on sale on the PlayStation Store right now, but not for long. So you definitely want to get on there and take advantage of it while you still can.
Yeah, you're running out of time.
That brings us to the Epic Games Store. Awesome free stuff on Epic Games this week. Two free games. First of all, Alien Isolation is free on the Epic Games Store this week. And for those of you who live under a rock, this game is fully and easily moddable into VR with just a quick copy and paste. And this game plays like a proper VR game. It's a gamepad VR game, but the scaling's good and it's comfortable to play in VR, and it's fully immersive VR sci-fi horror game, and that's 100% free. So I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah, it's free. What are you doing? Why have you not played this before? I own it. I own it already, and I still picked it up for free on Epic. So
It is free, right?
yeah, free is free.
They also given out a game called Hand of Fate 2, which was actually kind of interesting, Roots. I looked at this game, and this game looks like what we thought DeMeo was going to be. Like it's like a dungeon crawler style game, right? Like a RPG dungeon crawler style, but the worlds, the enemies, the scenarios are dealt out by someone with a deck of these adventure cards, right? So it's kind of like a card based adventure game.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. It definitely. I picked it up as well, and it's flat, but it definitely is something that I was kind of curious about playing at some point.
Yeah, it might VR. You never know.
It's true. Very true.
Helix Vision is a powerful tool, my friend.
Yeah, you can bring so many things into VR, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Paradise Decay says Epic Store version has all the DLC with it as well for free.
DLC for what?
For I'm assuming the Alien Isolation.
I didn't even know that had DLC.
Yeah, no, it's got DLC because I bought it. I thought about when I bought it. I think it was for Steam. I was debating because my mindset is like I don't even know if I'm gonna play the entire game. Um, so why would I waste money on the DLC if I don't get through the entire game? But if it's there for free, absolutely.
So he says it has all the DLC with it. So I guess that's included the edition that you get from Epic.
Yeah,
Then
I guess so. Yeah, so you actually have more from than the other version, right?
awesome, sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed that game when I played it. It's nice to have proper AAA games in VR.
Yeah, you want to know something that's entertaining about this game is go to Gamertag's channel and watch him play through it. That's pretty entertaining as well. Love me some Gamertag.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so that's Epic Game Store. That moves us on to the Quest Store. Today's daily deal on the Quest Store is Ocean Rift. And I took a look at this for about a half a second on the Quest Store routes. It's an interesting looking underwater educational experience. It's kind of a sea life encounter, if you will. But here's the kicker. It's very well done, which I would expect when you find out who the developer is. Do you know who developed Ocean Rift routes?
No, dude, I didn't even pull the trailer, bro. Now I'm gonna feel like I blew it. Who did this game?
This is from the developer of Crashland.
Oh shit, dude. Well, I'll tell you what, dude. That just piqued my interest because Anthony, have you heard of Crashland, bro? That is the best quest game. One of the best quest games. So good. And now you just the Ocean Rift just shot up in my mind. I might actually check it out, bro.
I mean, if you like this sort of thing, it looks like it's high quality. But the weird thing about it is, I think that the commercial that they're showing, the trailer on the Oculus Quest store, is actually the PC trailer. Because if you go to Steam, you'll see the same footage, which makes me wonder, does this game really look like that on Oculus Quest? Because it
Mm.
looks really good.
It does make you wonder. And you know what also makes me wonder is Anthony says he still doesn't have an Epic account. They can't buy him with all the free games. Onakazi has the perfect answer to me. And he says, "But why?" Question mark. Uh, it's free. Free is free. Like, what did you
Right.
aside from signing up? What did you lose by signing up for Epic? I mean, I have. I can't tell you how many games, Anthony, I have in there that I've actually gone and played because it was in there, and I was looking for something different to play. Um,
Yeah, it's not like this thing that constantly runs in your background either. You just close it and it goes away. You know what I mean? It's just an account you have to register for, just like an email or anything else. And dude, I wish you could see my Epic library, because I started on week one when they opened that store and started giving out free stuff, and I have picked up everything that they've offered on it, with very few rare exceptions. And I have this incredible library of games, some of which are VR games that I haven't ever paid anything for.
it's a trick.
So I don't know what the big holdup is, and I really don't understand the this anti-epic sentiment that exists with some people.
It's Anthony says it's a trick, dude. Oh, well, you know what's funny is the Steam argument, because Anthony believes that kind of like we are, like everybody thinks Steam's this magical place because they've had it for so long and they've invested so much time and money into it, so they convince themselves that this is the bee's knees, this is the only place. uh that's not the only place. Epic has given me reason. They gave me GTA 5 for free. I got to I
Yeah,
mean, I already owned it, but if I didn't, I would have gotten to try the Luke Ross mod for free, which is amazing, right?
yeah, 100%, man, 100%. You're making me want to bring up my Epic account here just to look at it. There's so many awesome games in there, and it's the only PC store that offers Tetris Effect. Well, I guess Microsoft has the Tetris Effect now, don't they?
Yeah. He says Tim Sweeney owes our soul. I say Tim Sweeney, Zuckerberg, Gaben. They're all the same, bro. They all own our soul. They own it all.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like he's stealing it. It's a fair trade for all these games,
That's
bro.
true. That's true. And person completely sums it up. Says Admiral Akbar doesn't approve. I completely.
That's a drop.
It's a drop.
Oh, okay. So from Epic Store, Quest Store, Daily Deals, Ocean Rift, the bundles this week, staying true to that theme, Wander and Nature Treks VR $15. I really don't have much to say on those two. Not familiar with them, and yeah, $15 ain't a lot of money. I know that.
No, I've never played either one of them, but and if it tells you anything, I pulled scenes for the next one, not
Right.
for that one either. I looked at it and I was like, I'm not pulling Wanderer trailer, and I'm not, amazing. I'm sure. I just other stuff
Right.
out there.
The other bundle this week, Orbis VR Reborn, as you can see here, is being bundled with Rush, a game which I'm always a big proponent of. I love Rush. I love it as a co-op experience. $29 for these two titles together. I don't really have a lot to say on Orbis, but I can tell you that Rush is worth its $20 price tag easily. And I highly recommend it to anyone who has a VR headset.
I think Orbis VR is $30 itself, which is kind of a high price for that game. So to me, this is a no-brainer deal. You're getting the game that you shouldn't have been 30 to begin with, plus you're getting Rush, and the people say Orbis is good. So
Anthony talking about how there's too many passwords to remember, but like I don't remember my passwords. Like the computer remembers my passwords for me. Like it just auto populates that.
yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know. It's kind of weird, man. You should try clicking the remember password thing, and then you know what happens if you forget. You click the forgot password thing, and then they let you make a new one.
Yeah. Well, and if you think
So,
about it, there's only a few stores. I mean, at first it seems like a lot, but I go between them all and check them. And, I just went to all of them today and uninstalled a bunch of stuff for room. So it's nice.
yeah, so many free games. You gotta make room.
Yep.
So moving on from Quest Store, a quick reminder that the Humble Bundle, Spring into VR bundle, uh, maybe the most amazing bundle I've ever seen with Detached, Job Simulator, Aspire 1, Star Trek Bridge Crew, Sirentro, Borderlands 2 VR, Swords of Gura, and Surgeon Simulator. All of these games included for $15. You got 3 days left. If you're going to pick up this collection, you need to do it now, because $15 is an incredible price for Borderlands 2 VR alone. Not to mention, the Aspire ones and Job Sims and Detached and all this other stuff. I mean, it's crazy the amount of value here.
Yeah. $15 is cheap for all that content. Absolutely.
Anthony's going to hack my browser so he can get my password and play my free games.
Well, that sounds a little bit harder than signing up for Epic, but
Oh, anyway, guys, pick up that Humble Bundle. It's amazing. It's an amazing deal. Um, I mean, I picked up one for the old key vault there.
yeah, I need to do that myself.
Yeah, so I'll probably pick up another one just so I can put Borderlands 2 into my library.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't have it already.
Oh, and I do on PlayStation.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Link Store, Crow's Enlightenment. A game that got some fairly solid reviews. If you like these sorts of story puzzle games, $4 is not a bad price for Crow's Enlightenment.
Yeah, $4 for an adventure sounds like a steal.
Phil, you aren't coming through to tell us that Alien Isolation is free on Epic. So you heard that, Anthony. Go get your copy of Alien Isolation.
Yep, it's free. Free is free.
Free, bro. It's free, bro. All right. Where are we? Oh, we're at Steam. And really quickly, something I didn't list here that I want to inform people. If you want to take advantage of it today, because it expires tomorrow, but at least for today, Grapple Tournament's free to play.
Oh
And
wow.
a lot of people rave about that game, and it's been free all weekend, but ends tomorrow. So if you want to check it out, go check it out now.
And remember, if you have Viveport Infinity, it's free for you every day. Right? That is one of the games on Viveport, isn't it? I believe.
I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
The Grapple
here.
Tournament.
Grapple Tournament? I don't think so.
I thought it was. Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't think so, bro. PD saying the new Vortex update, people with reverb noticing a lot better performance. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we are now at Steam. So, Cookout, a sandwich tale, $17. It's a fairly new release to be on sale. So, I know certain people have talked about that they enjoy this game. So, if that's your deal, if that's your bag, bro, $17 is a pretty good deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Five. Spry Guy says he thinks a grapple tournament is on Infinity, but I haven't.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't
I
know.
mean, I guess maybe I could be wrong about that. But
Usually you're
let's find
not
out. We need to answer this for science.
in
So,
real time. Yeah, usually you're not wrong with that stuff. I trust your what you say 99.9% of the time.
well, sometimes I'm wrong. Occasionally, I can be.
Occasionally, a slim sliver.
Port go. This week's episode of In Real Time.
Yeah,
To
especially.
answer the question, is Grapple Tournament a Viveport Infinity title?
I know, Anthony. That's exactly what I think. Does Resolution Games ever sleep? They make a ton of games. Some of these developers, you thinking, what the hell, man? Like every time you turn around, they're coming out with another game, and it's not just another game. They're awesome games, right? I think you're absolutely correct there.
Really quickly here, as I'm typing in Grapple Tournament, I'm looking at Hyperdash, and I bet that's
That's
what
probably
he's
what they're
thinking about.
thinking. Yeah, because that's what I was thinking of. Now that you think saying that, because that was one of the games I had uninstalled from Viveport because I was making room today. I still haven't tried
All
it.
right, so Grapple Tournament search results yields Racket Fury, Ping Pong VR, Doctor Who: The Edge of Time, Loco Dojo,
Oh,
Snapshot VR, and a bunch of other crazy
wow,
shit
that's
like
weird
Poker
stuff to come up.
Stars and Tower Tag. Maybe it could have been Tower Tag. It's fairly similar.
Nah, he said you're right. He was thinking of Hyperdash, and that's exactly what I was thinking about when I said that as well, Price. So, very similar games. Both are said to be amazing. Grapple Tournament, people are raving about it. So I might have to get there and in there and check it out. I know I got a copy, or we have a copy, from the developer.
Well,
So,
well, you have a copy from the other developer. I didn't. They never got back to me. Like they said, yeah, bro. Well, just give me a day here to go get my keys, get some more keys, and we'll send you one. And then they never sent me one, and I never said anything else about it. So
yeah,
I'll go play Pop One. Who cares?
yeah, we got one. I mean, really only need one key to try it, though, right?
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, if I'm going to play multiplayer game, I want to play with Roots. I mean, I don't want to go play multiplayer with some rando squeakers.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, so back to Steam. Demo Reborn is $17. This is a fairly pricey game at full price, and it's a very, very unique game with positive reviews. Um, it's a rhythm game, Roots, but not really. Like this is a story-driven rhythm puzzler
Hmm.
almost, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I was looking at the trailer and it was very bizarre. I thought I had to double check take on it to make sure I got the right one because I was like, "What is this?" But it definitely looks bizarre and it looks like it could be good. And like you said, it's very well received. So
Yeah, it's highly polished, high quality game, and people tend to like it. Again, it generally has a fairly high price tag. So if this is the sort of thing that interests you, $17, I don't think you're going to find a much better price for it than
yeah,
that.
yeah, dude, that's a good deal.
All right, Hello Puppets. On the other hand, I can tell you all about. It's $16 on Steam right now, and I recommend it at $16 all day. This is an underrated horror comedy title, and it's a cool world to be in, and it's unique because your hand is one of the main protagonists of the game.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely unique for sure. Definitely worth what playing.
Yeah, it's dark comedy, and there are some high tension I mean, parts that some people I'm sure would say are scary. It takes something to really scare me, but there's some dark stuff in here. I'll
Very
say that.
unique puzzles as well.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, yeah, go pick up Hello Puppets if you haven't already. That's a cool one. Vengeful Rites we already talked about for $14. This is probably the front runner if I'm going to buy any of these this week. It'll probably be this one.
Yeah, it's a steal, and it's complete now.
But if I buy this, then I won't be able to afford Pinball.
Oh well, you got to hold off for Pinball, bro. Star Wars, dude.
3D SEN is an amazing application. It allows you to take all of your childhood favorites from the Nintendo Entertainment System and play them inside your VR headset. Get this, in full 3D. It doesn't quite cover the entire NES library. There's only like 100 to 200 titles in there. But all of your favorites, or at least most of them, you should find in this game. And then there's another untold number of them that are untested, uncertified, but still work. An amazing application for VR, an application that we reviewed at the time that it launched in the full access on Steam, and I recommend from me at $13.
Yeah, definitely. Man, it's only a couple hundred titles. You know, I'll tell you what. I submit that a lot of those titles aren't worth playing anyway. The ones that are on there. So
For real. Anyway, yeah, dude, you can play Castlevania on this thing. You can play Metroid. You can play Mega Man. I mean, it's awesome. Blind. Mixed reviews on Blind, but a lot of people like Blind. A lot of people put off by it. $6, not very much for a fairly polished VR experience.
yeah, I think it's worth $6 all day.
And last but not least, one of my favorites, Headmaster. You know who else is a Headmaster, Roots?
My mom. Wow. Yeah, I heard that about her.
But digging this game, man. I've played through it multiple times. Physical, hands-free gameplay. Um, awesome dark comedy. Very polished experience that's been out for years but still holds up. Yeah, if you don't have Headmaster, this is a good demo title for VR. You can put people in this; they can pick it up pretty quickly.
What's the cost on it? Is it like
$10.
$10? Wow, that's a good deal, right?
Yep, I think it is. It's normally 20. It is 10 now. So yeah, yeah. Headmaster, easy to pick up, difficult to master.
Yeah, difficult to put down, especially if you're Wes and you're trying to get every single star.
Yeah, I need to check and see if that DLC is on sale. I know like the bundle is, but I need just that DLC.
I'm surprised you haven't played it, man. Like you love this is like
Yeah,
your jam, dude. You love this game.
yeah. I keep forgetting about it. I keep forgetting that there's more levels now that I need to revisit it.
Yeah.
And that brings us to Viport Infinity. We had a few titles added to the Viport Infinity. Some of them not so recognizable, but others very recognizable. First of all, there's a game called Endurium, which basically, if I had to describe it, Roots, this looks like lightsaber training for the Jedi's. You know, when they fought all those little bots and things, that's what this reminds me of.
It looks like a kind of a mix between Synth Riders and Beat Saber in a little bit because I saw them slicing things and then I saw a bunch of balls coming at them like they were literally doing the same thing. But yeah, it definitely looks unique and yeah, it's free on Viveport Infinity. Why not check it out, right?
Yep, included on the best deal in VR, Viport Infinity.
Yep.
Helicopter simulator. And I don't know that, but judging by the font in the title bar, I think this is from the same group that brings all the other simulators, the truck simulators, the simulator guys. helicopter simulator, and it looks like a high quality, legit helicopter simulator. So, if VR flight is your thing, you might want to check this one out, free on Infinity.
Overgees. It's your thing, bro.
I'll tell you what, man, that Warplanes we played on Infinity the other day was pretty cool.
Isn't it cool? It was so much better than I thought it was going to be. It just didn't seem like it was going to be that good. But I mean, if there's anything you can trust, mostly is if there's rave reviews about something, nothing gets rave reviews unless it's actually good these days. So
Right. Right. Yeah, it's pretty good. I recommend it. All right, and last but not least, speaking of highly recommended titles, Roots on Viveport Infinity, Mask Maker. Uh, some differing opinions on this one this week, Roots, but I don't see what all the consternation is about. I think that my experience in this game was magical and thoroughly enjoyed it. Highly recommend it, especially on Infinity. You don't have to buy it.
some of the best storytelling I've ever seen in virtual reality up to date. And I'm not just saying that. Wes and I both felt the same thing. Like it just felt like you were in a Disney movie. Now I haven't gone through the whole,
Polish.
yeah, very polished. And it was like an engaging story and it was done well. It was like you want to watch it, you know? So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, was surprised at some of the negative things I heard about this game this week. But, you know, um, all platforms are not created equal too, so that plays in a little bit, I'm sure.
yeah, absolutely.
But definitely a game you should check out on Infinity if you have the subscription.
Yeah, worth the price of admission all day long, uh, because you already have the subscription. And even if you didn't, if you don't have Viveport Infinity and you thought, I want to play Mask Maker, dude, just get the month, bro. Like you can now you
Yep.
got 30 days to try all these different titles, and I almost guarantee you're going to extend past that 30 days because it's such a good deal.
Yeah, this is an interesting thought to me because I often think about how many people who haven't brought themselves to pull the trigger on Infinity, but buy at least one title per month that's the Infinity catalog. Like, did you buy 1976 for, back to Midway? Did you buy A Wake In? Did you buy these titles? Did you buy Until You Fall? These are all on. Did you buy Phasmophobia? You know what I mean? You could have just bought a subscription to Infinity and you could have those five titles plus 800 more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's insanity, and they're always adding new solid games almost weekly.
Yeah, and there's absolutely no difference from those games than a Steam game. You download it just like you would any other game. It's in your library and you start it up just like you would, except for through the app. And I have not, Wes, I have not found one game so far in what I've tried that hasn't ran well. You know?
Well, they
Now,
all run in Steam VR.
yeah,
They're Steam VR games.
yeah, yeah. So it's a no-brainer to me.
I agree with that. Anyway, that's going to bring us to our final reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can support our channel. If you like what you see here and you haven't done so already, please consider clicking that big red subscription button along with the bell so you can stay up to date with all of the content, which is going to be increasing in frequency as well as quality over the next several weeks. So you don't want to miss it. Click that bell, click that button. Of course, for those of you who have already done all the clicking and you want to help to increase the frequency and quality of the content on this channel, you can do so by supporting us on Patreon, where for as little as $3 per month, we'll gain you access to our weekly show notes. Shout out to Diz for informing me that my show notes this morning were corrupt. I had to re-upload them, but all is good now. You get the weekly show notes. You get the occasional insider update from yours truly. And then you get the occasional episode of The Money Show, which if I had to put money on it, I would say the next one's going to be live.
Yeah, I would too.
And then that brings us to
Discord.
our home.
Yeah.
Yeah, the place where we live, the place where we would like to invite all of you to come rub elbows with us and talk a little VR. The invitation link is in the description. Maybe you want to talk VR. Maybe you want to play VR. You need some players. Maybe you just want to feel like a part of the best community in VR. Well, it's not that hard. All you got to do is click that little invitation down there, accept the invitation, and you don't even have to say anything. People are going to line up at the door just to tell you hello. So come on home.
Yeah. It's nice and warm and cozy.
We'll leave the light on for you.
Yeah.
All right. And I believe that's going to wrap up our show for this week. I'd like to thank you all for showing up and hanging out in the chat. And with that said, for Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.